retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I have terrible foot issues. I'm having a normal life with my kids with the Good Feet arch supports, man. I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
Yeah, coming to you from the Golden One Center, Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason. I don't know, Kyle. Call me crazy. There's a sense of optimism bubbling through the whole place today.
You feel it?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
First of all, Simone's back, which is great.
Right.
I didn't even know she still worked at the station. I was like, hey, well, that's good. That's a great way to start things. And let's see. The bar kind of low after the last 2 games. So the Kings back home. They're going to bring it tonight, right? Because they have to bring it, and they know.
Yeah, they have to. It was an abysmal trip to Houston, and the thing I like from listening to you already. We've been on air 45 seconds.
Yes,
and you're Mr. Sunshine and Rainbows.
That's
already.
Right.
You're Mr. Optimism.
Yellow
Yesterday
shirt today.
We had about 4 hours of what is going on with this squad. They're going to bounce back. We're ready. Got the lights already. Look at this. You
Beautiful.
can just feel it right here,
Yes.
already inside this building.
Yeah. What do you think might look different tonight? There's a lot of things that could look different. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a matter of, we get back to who we are. We do what we do. But what do you think might look a little different tonight?
I just think the body language. Let's
Yeah.
start right there. I just think what we'll see tonight is these guys actually enjoy playing basketball. We didn't see that 2 games at Houston. They look like they'd rather be anywhere else but on the basketball court. And so I think tonight they'll get back to, having fun. Malik is going to be the guy. And, Keegan, his twin brother in town, we'll be watching them drop 30 tonight. And so I think the joy of basketball will be back with this team tonight.
Great point. I don't know if you noticed, but I've been working on my body language since yesterday. Yesterday, a lot of this, Today I'm trying. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I do think whether it's Mike Brown talking to them or them figuring out for themselves, they got to get back to having a sense of joy because they've been playing the last 2 nights as if the burden of the expectations of this season and the fact that no De'Aaron Fox, we got to find a way to win. It looks like you can almost see it physically draining them and physically dragging them down. So tonight, you know what? So what? Let it fly. Go out, have fun, play Kings basketball.
Right, and you're right. The weight of expectations maybe have been on their shoulders, but that still doesn't excuse what happened in Houston. I think being back at home being back in front of a friendly crowd, a crowd that can energize you, get you going. Let's think, though. They've only played 2 home games out of their first 6. So now you got a 3-game homestand, 2-1 minimum. 3-0 is probably what I want to see from this team, but I think it starts tonight. And, this first quarter, the first 5 minutes is going to tell a lot. Because let's be honest, these last few games, even in the Golden State game, the starters haven't been getting it done. The second unit is what brought the Kings back in that Golden State game. And so if I'm Domas, if I'm Harrison, Keegan, Kevin, those guys, you got to come out and make a statement tonight. I thought you should have made one Monday. Obviously, in Houston, you didn't. Great thing about the NBA, you have another opportunity tonight, and it's in front of your home crowd.
Now, I know you have the call tonight,
Yes.
So you've been prepping like crazy. So I'm not sure how much you heard Chris Watkins and Alan Stiles. Alan Stiles today, I don't know what's going on. He was talking about, we don't want to stop lighting the beam, but do we need to have a conversation? What is he talking? What?
No, you know what? Alan's our guy.
Yes, yes.
He might need to sit this one out. Like your mom told you, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything. Like, I have no idea what he's talking. Like, the fans are clamoring for the beam. What is he? We need the beam now more than ever.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it was like, he's a very bright guy. Maybe it's some kind of reverse psychology or something to set us up for what hopefully will be a very special night of Kings basketball at the Golden One. And let's face it, you really would have a hard time hand-picking a better opponent tonight. A Portland Trailblazer team that comes almost literally limping into Golden One.
No, they're banged up. They're battered and bruised. So many injuries. No Anthony Simons. No Scoot Henderson. And when you look at this Blazers team, they're the worst offensive team in the NBA. They don't shoot the three. They can't shoot the ball, but what they do very well, offensive rebounding. So you got to watch DeAndre Ayton tonight.
He's having a good year so far.
Yeah, but believe it or not, Whitey, his numbers are down from what they were in Phoenix, which is crazy. Because the whole notion about him was, he wanted more touches in Phoenix.
Sure.
His touches are actually down in Portland right now. With that said, this guy is a walking double-double.
Defensively, he's off to a really good start.
Exactly. And so he's going to be a problem. Shaden Sharp dropped 30 against this team last year. Now he's the main guy with Scoot out and with Anthony Simons out. And so they look to him to score. And let's not forget about Jeremy Grant. 27 last game, 26 the game before. He's getting better and better with each game. And so you got to respect the opponent. I will say, with so many injuries to this Portland Trailblazers squad, their first 5, they're going to be good. You got Malcolm Brogdon out there. It's going to be solid. But if you can get into that bench, that's where I think they'll have an edge tonight. The second unit, the Malik Monks, the Sasha Vezenkovs, like those guys got to step up. Chris Duarte, you got to own that second unit. This should be a game in which Kings bench outscores the Blazers bench. This got to be a 40 to 18, 50 to 22 tonight. The bench has to rule tonight.
Get into that soft underbelly of the Blazers bench. Domas has to bring it tonight. I think the team without De'Aaron Fox, these guys are all veterans. I know they're not kids. Some of them are kids. But I think they look to Domas, right? It's natural. Yeah. Well, no, De'Aaron. Domas is our leader now. And he's looked a little lost, so they need him tonight to set the tone and say, get on my back, guys. And I think one of the ways he's going to have to do that, as we've discussed, he's going to have to pose a real problem for DeAndre Ayton. He's going to have to bring him away from the basket, shoot, and make some mid-range shots.
I was going to ask you, because that's a key matchup tonight when you look at it, knowing the way Domantas Sabonis played. Can he physically outpower DeAndre Ayton? Or will he have to, like you said, you know what? You're going to have to knock down that 17-footer. You're going to have to knock down maybe a couple of threes tonight. And don't just try to play the power game against DeAndre tonight.
I think you start making the mid-range or the even the 3-ball, which would be great. And then DeAndre Ayton's got to come out, and then that's when you take the pass.
Right. You're
get him out on skates out there on the perimeter.
Right. And who knows? Maybe some early foul trouble, too.
Yeah.
This team is severely banged up. No Robert Williams the second or the third also. And so
they're both out. Second and third.
Second and third. They're not going to be playing tonight. Neither one of them, right? And so, no, you're right, man. If you can get into this bench, try to get DeAndre in foul trouble, they are severely severely short-handed. They got Moses Brown, 7'2", but he weighs like 150 pounds. He's light as Sabonis should be able to own him on the inside. And so this is a statement game. You know what it's a statement game too about Whitey? It's not just a statement game for the team. It's a statement game for individuals, if you know what I mean.
I agree.
Keegan Murray has to come out and make a statement tonight. Domantas Sabonis, Davion Mitchell, like individuals need to make their own statements tonight too.
Yeah, especially because Keegan's facing his brother.
Yeah,
for the first time. First time he's played
if
against
I'm Chauncey Billups, Chris Murray better play tonight, right?
Yeah.
You got to throw him out there.
He's only played in a couple games.
Yeah, he's only played 2 games. Chris Murray got to see it for tonight. I mean, you're down like 4 or 5 guys. You're playing against your twin brother. Have a heart, Chauncey Billups. Play Chris Murray, please.
You know, I would never say this early in the year, and I'm not going to say it, but this is as close as I would ever come to a game that's not a playoff game to saying it's a must-win. It's not, but it's a really important game. The Kings really need to, at the very least, play very, very well tonight. I think it's critically important.
No, I agree. And you know, it's not a must-win. You know,
right.
It's way too early to talk about must-wins. But it's definitely a must. We got to come away from tonight feeling good, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can't come away feeling like we felt the last couple of games. You know, and I do think you have to win this game. It may be ugly. It may not be 130 to 95 or something like that. But somehow, some way, this game, like I can make the argument that Portland is the worst team in the league right now. With how shorthanded they are, with how well everybody else is playing. I'm talking about the Houstons of the world, the San Antonios. Like you could argue Portland's the worst team in the Western Conference. And so tonight it is a huge game for Sacramento.
At some point, isn't it true? I hate to fall back on this. It seems desperate to do so. But let's face it, at some point, the shots have to start falling, don't they? No matter who you are, the shots are going to start going in at some point.
No, that's it's like Doc Rivers said, it's a make this league, right? You know, you got to make some shots. If you make shots, then everything, you know, all the warts, you know, get cleared up a little bit. You know, what's interesting about the shot making situation, I'm going to put the full side on Keegan Murray and Kevin Huerter.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Keegan was a 41% three-point shooter. Round up. Kevin Huerter was a 40% three-point shooter. This year, Keegan 26%. Kevin Huerter 24%. Those are your 2 snipers. Those are your 2 best outside shooters, and they're not getting it done. And we talked ad nauseum about the looks they're getting. It's being back to the confines of home, in front of a friendly crowd. Crowd that'll yell, Keegan
Murray.
You were late. Just
no, I was a dramatic pause. Dramatic pause. That's what it was. But you have to combine your percentages to get to 40.
To
get to 40%.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And so this is a statement game for everybody out there. Nobody's been playing great. Nobody should have went to sleep after that Houston game feeling good.
No.
The way they played. And so now's your chance to get it back.
You know, I was talking with Jerry Reynolds today. We were talking about what you do if you're Mike Brown. And I really think if I were coaching the team, which would be not good, but if I were, the first thing I'd do would be, as we discussed right here at the top, just trying to get them. Look, we have all these things. We have to do this defensively, this offensively. We've got to worry about this guy. But most importantly tonight, we have to get back to playing basketball.
Yes.
Having fun and getting out and playing Kings basketball. It has to start from there because the way we're just trudging along, already beaten with a hang up. Look, we ain't going to get anywhere with that.
No, you're right. And as you were saying that, I'm thinking it's not to knock Mike Brown, and I don't think he's doing it. But at times, you can overcoach the team, you know, and micromanage too much. And so if I'm Mike Brown tonight, let's say you get off to a slow start, I will call a timeout. I will bring the guys together and say, all right, guys, let's just play ball. I don't know if I'm giving guys a quick hook tonight because I don't know psychologically if they need that. They need to experience the joy without looking over their shoulders, wondering, if I make
they got to relax a little bit.
They got to relax.
They do.
They're playing tight right now, and they got to be loose and free, and that's what I'm hoping we're seeing tonight.
Sounds kind of corny, but when Steve Kerr was the head coach, Mike Brown was the assistant. Steve Kerr talked a lot when the Warriors were a great team about playing with joy. He felt that was very important to them. I know some people kind of roll their eyes. You know, they're professionals, but this, especially the style of offense that two teams run, you have to play with a little bit of joy, or you just things bog down and you can't get anything done.
Yes, that's 100% right, and that's no fun. It's not aesthetically pleasing. It's not fun to play if you're not executing and doing it right, and that's what was so frustrating about that Houston game. The offense they're supposed to run is supposed to be fun. Like, as a player, I would love to play in that offense.
Right.
But what we saw against the guys standing around, like, you might as well be out there with James Harden.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do.
Think how he's just a guard.
Yes. And you're letting the defense off the hook. And so I know moving is, at times it's easy to just sit in the corner. But no Harrison Barnes, no Keegan Murray, no Kevin Hurt. Move the ball, move your body tonight.
Okay, so Harrison Barnes is still on the team.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Our fan base that wanted to shift out this offseason. No, HB is still there. As a leader of the team.
Yes.
Guys with something to prove. He doesn't need to come out and score 30 points, but he got to shoot 6 times. So I want him to be impactful in minutes that he's out there.
Speaking of Mike Brown uses the word to describe the Kings' early season struggles that most of us would not use, and we'll tell you what that word is next. We'll come right back here to the Golden One Center to Drive Guys on Sactown Sports. Yes, sir. You would. Well, since you said please, you got it.
Is discounted if you're naughty or you're nice. Stuff to buy your grandma who drinks her Chardonnay nice. Stuff to make you big and strong. Stuff we can name in this song. Stuff for lawns and decking halls. Save big on stuff at Amazon. Stuff.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one.
Afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown.
Your Sacramento State Hornets home this Saturday, 2 p.m. kickoff against the Cal Poly Mustangs. Boo! They're terrible. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. So that should be fun, and we're getting ready to have a lot of fun tonight. Kings back home against the Portland Trailblazers, coming to you from the Golden One Center. Kyle Draper, who has the call tonight, and Whitey Gleason. And I have a sense that the Kings, they're just too good a team to have looked as bad as they did the last 2 nights coming back home against a beaten up team. I think it's going to be like night and day tonight.
Do you think that, or are you hoping that?
I think it has to be.
Right.
In a way,
Yeah.
I'm certainly hoping it. But when I think about it, it's like, man, they have to look a lot better than they did the last 2 nights.
Right.
The floor is so
There's
low.
like no alternative, right? You can't get much lower than what we saw the other night.
Right.
And so I just think, and I said it last segment. That's radio talk, right? Segment, not last block.
Sure.
Okay, you good with that? You good with that? No, I said it last segment. What happened Monday was one of those games, and I know we got back late, but maybe when you wake up the next morning, look at yourself in the mirror and you say, you know what can I do better to help this team? Like, you have to look individually in the mirror and try to figure it out, because this isn't a coaching problem. This is like what we saw the other night, guys standing around. Trust me, that's not a Mike Brown problem or an offense problem. That's on the players.
Speaking of Mike Brown, after the loss Monday, he talked about the adversity that the Kings face and how he says that's kind of a neat part of the season. Here's Mike Brown. How about that? Yeah, the neat part is we're facing adversity, which they didn't face a lot of last year. So the coach, that's a fascinating. He's see the way his team responds, and I think we all are.
Yeah. But the encouraging thing is, and I know last year is last year, but outside of those first 4 games, they didn't have a single 4-game losing streak last year. So they got off to a slow start, 0-4. After that, no more 4-game losing streaks. Tonight, they're in danger of losing 4 in a row. And so I think historically, what we've seen from this team is they bounce back. They figure it out. And I know no De'Aaron Fox, no Trey Lyles, but you still have enough weapons, air power, enough on this team to beat this Portland Trailblazers team. And so, there is a little adversity, and you're going to face that from time to time, but it's about how you respond. Historically, they responded the right way. Let's see what happens.
It's also interesting that he mentioned again the importance of playing fast, because we know we talked to Jason Anderson from the B yesterday about the fact that Mitchell had said it's hard to play as fast as they want and still defend at a high level. And he said that's what good teams do, and we have to do it. But Mike Brown is making sure the players know that we're playing at that speed. You could question whether that's why when you're not defending when you're not making shots, but Mike Brown sees that for them to become anything close to the team that he wants them to become, they're going to have to do that. And I think that's one of the things they're struggling with as a team.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to ask you, because as I'm listening to Mike Brown, and I totally understand and get what he's saying, but he's talking about we got to bend the right way, physicality, move without the ball. Like, he listed like 6 things he wants them to do. And so I understand coach is trying to get them to a level of where they're championship contenders. Can they get there, though? What was your reaction? He was listing 4 or 5, 6 things. Like, I want him to do this, play the right way, bend, physicality, shoot the three. Like, what was your reaction to that?
We talked about it a little bit yesterday. It's a lot that they appear to be struggling with just about every aspect of that, at least in the 2 games against Houston. So just hope that once one of those things starts well, it's going to have like a domino effect where, you start getting up and down the floor, better shots go, and then it's easier to defend because then other teams take the ball out of the bottom of the basket. So I think that's the hope, pushing. As soon as one of those things starts to come to fruition, I think it's all going to start hopefully falling into place. Hopefully we'll see a lot of that tonight.
Oh, right. And what's interesting about this team, and Mike Brown has alluded to it, once some shots start falling in, we see the defense pick up, we see the energy, the mood, and everything like that. And so, like we said last segment, if shots don't fall, this team's body language, you can feel it. And Mike Brown talked about it the other day. You can see the shoulders slumping a little bit. And so, I hope, and I've been hoping this, Kevin Huerter all preseason, like get 3 or 4 or 5, Keegan Murray tonight, get 3 or 4, early ones to go. I think you'll see an entirely different team.
I'm wondering if we're going to see anything different offensively. And again, as I said yesterday, if I see this, if you see this, clearly the coaching staff has seen it. They've already done things about it. But we talked to Matt Barnes about how, it looks like other teams learned from the way the Warriors defended the Kings in the playoffs this year. And it's harder and harder for the Kings to run the offense through Domas. You see so much of the offense just stop there, and teams are playing off of him. And then you have guys standing around. So I think the Kings are going to have a response for that tonight, and hopefully that'll produce better shots and more player movement. And that's the one thing. Get the offense go on, I think everything else becomes easier. But I do think they're going to have to diversify the offense.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because, what the Warriors did obviously was very effective. But if nobody takes those shots, does that loosen things up? And so can it be both, where Domas has to do a better job and the coaches, maybe you diversify the offense somewhat? And so,
well, that would be kind of, not to nitpick, but I mean, that would be, if he starts taking that shot, that's kind of diversified. They've been doing that alone could be one of the keys.
But you know how it is in basketball, Whitey. Like when you're an offensive player and a defender takes away your first move, what happens? You got to have a counter. So what's the counter to what Golden State did? What's the counter to what we saw from Houston? And so that's where it's on the coaches. Maybe it's on Sabonis too. But, you should be able to, all right, they're doing this.
I agree.
So now let's run this. And we didn't see that a whole lot, I think, in Houston. those last 2 games.
Yeah, and it's a lot to ask of a team when De'Aaron Fox isn't playing, but sorry, it's the NBA, and you got to win games, and he's not there, so they're going to have to figure out a way. And again, this is a perfect team against which you can try to do that, although the Blazers are not a bad defensive team. At least they have been so far.
Yeah, they're 3-4 on the season. I got their numbers right here. Their defensive rating this season, they're actually a top 10 defensive team, number 9 in defensive rating. And so, where the Kings should have an edge is, the Blazers can't score the ball. They're dead last in offensive rating, dead last in point shooting. And so, 105, 110, 150, that should be able to get it done if your defense comes out and plays well. One thing about Sacramento that I would like to see offensively, we're talking so much about Domas and the three. Where's the transition basket? Where's the easy ones, Whitey? Like this team, last year would get up and down. Mike Brown wants to play fast. Right now, they're dead last in the NBA when it comes to fast break points at 7 per game. Where's the easy bucket? We haven't seen that either.
And I know you and I have talked a number of times after games this year where we looked the next day at their fast break numbers and the points have been low, and also their conversion rate has been low, like 4 of 11 fast breaks, things like that. Yeah. Like you got to take advantage of those opportunities.
Right, you're getting some opportunities, but you're not finishing, and that has to change as well. De'Aaron Fox helps that out, but man, I tell you, this team is good enough without De'Aaron Fox. They shouldn't be this bad. What we saw today.
Coming up on the show today, 3:00, Mark J. Spears is going to join us. The great Mark Spears wrote an excellent piece at, let's see.
Anscape.
Yes, thank you, at Anscape, about the two brothers facing each other for the first time. Also, Kevin Calabro should be joining us later this afternoon. Kevin Calabro is the longtime voice of the Portland Trailblazers, he was actually play-by-play, as you know, from Seattle Sonics for many years.
I remember that.
He's seen many iterations of the Kings, so it'll be interesting to catch up with Kevin Calabro and Mark J. Spears when we come right back. How the Kings turned their season around almost 1 year ago to the day. That is next year with the Drive Guys, coming to you from the Golden One Center on Sactown Sports. Yes.
Oh yeah, go back to StreamYard, Whitey.
I thought we did. Sorry
I
about that.
thought we did. Yeah. Oh, the audio is coming through.
Oh, sorry. No.
Mike on the computer.
I thought I did. Sorry.
So Whitey's is gargly. Oh, this thing mute.
Yeah. Okay.
Get your retirement savings to play ball with your retirement plan. Call Cap Trust today at 916-924-7527 or log on to captrust.com.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
O'Reilly. It's See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Replace your worn-out wiper blades and get up to a $20 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you purchase a pair of select wiper blades. See store for details. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hello. Yes, done. Is that what they're doing with him? It's Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper coming to you today from the Golden One Center, where, of course, tonight the Kings take on the Portland Trailblazers. Real quick football note, Kyle. I know you and I had talked about this, how vitally important it was for the 49ers to get Steve Wilks down on the sideline instead of in the coach's box. And he is going to be on the sideline, so 49ers are going to win the rest of their game.
Right.
I think that's
undefeated,
it.
huh?
Yeah.
That's the big difference. Steve Wilks on the field instead of instead of in the booth. I'm not a football person, so I don't know why that makes such a big deal. Is it because it's easier for him to communicate with the guys like this? In person, he can gather the groups together. I don't know. We'll see what happens Sunday against Jacksonville. But part of me feels like they're grasping at straws now. You know, like, no, we got to do this. Maybe this will work. They're throwing things at a dartboard right now.
I know that from what I've never spoken to him, but I know Steve Wilks on the public record has made it pretty clear that he's been up in the booth because that's where he's most comfortable. So the fact that they're telling him, no, you got to be down on the field, I think a lot of it has got to be appearances. And, you know, the last two guys that were so successful, D'Amico Ryans and Robert Saleh, well, they were on the sideline. So now it's not going well, so you better get your guy on the sideline too. So, you know, maybe they have a couple of good weeks in a row defensively and then go back up in the booth. But I think it's about appearance.
Yeah. It shows that they're trying something different, you know. It shows, all right, we're not just going to keep it the same. And so we'll see if it makes, you always say we don't need power rankings, just look at the standings. Well, we'll figure it out. Like, we'll see this Sunday against Jacksonville, you know, does it work or not? And if it does, all right, Steve, we'll keep it down here on the field.
Yeah, I heard Emil on the station today, and Devo practicing today. Trent Williams at practice, but kind of doing his own thing. So that's good news. It'd be great if and when Trent Williams is cleared to play this week. That's going to take care of a lot of their issues, but everything trending in the right direction for the 49ers.
Everything's coming up roses for the
Yes.
Niners. All of it.
Look out, Eagles.
Devo
Look out, Philly.
Hey, we will see Sunday, man. It's going to be a tough road test at Jacksonville, across the country. Early start for the Niners, and so it'll be fun.
It's kind of curious to me that the 49ers have lost, 3 in a row, and so have the Kings now, right? Both lost.
Yeah, well, Jeff Downer.
No, it's just that's where we are. But I know a lot of people have said, hey, no big deal. The Kings lost their first 4 games last year. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because a year ago, let's see, almost to the day. Today's the 8th, right? Last year on Wednesday, November 9th, that's when the Kings, who had gotten off to a kind of a rough start, they beat Cleveland. And that was the first of a 7-game winning streak that turned their whole season around.
That was it. We're at 3-6
Yeah.
at that point. They had just lost to the Warriors by 3 at Golden State. We're wondering, what's going on with this team? And then they beat Cleveland, Lakers, Warriors, Brooklyn, Spurs, Pistons. I can name them all. And then things just automatically turned around for this team. It's interesting. They had that 7-game win streak, then they followed it up with 3 losses in a row. And so you have these kind of ebbs and flows. You know, what's interesting about this stretch that the Kings are on right now, this is some tough teams coming up.
Right.
You know, you got OKC coming. You got Cleveland coming up. You got Victor Wembanyama. You got the Lakers in LA you got to face. So it's going to be a tough road, but, you know, you pointed it out. This team was struggling. They were 3-6 at this point last season, going into you know, their game against Cleveland. And then, you know, it took off after that. I wonder, when you look at Mike Brown, how much time does it take him to figure out patience, figure out his team? Because, you know, it sort of reminds me last year, if you remember, he had Casey Okpala starting games early in the season. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I do.
You remember
I do.
Casey Okpala?
Uh-huh.
And so then he settled in and got his rotation. I wonder if we're seeing a little bit of that right now with Chris Duarte, Kobe Jones. You know, in a week or two, maybe he has his 9 guys, and this is who we're rolling out with.
It's got to be difficult right now. And I know we're trying, you know, to be more positive today because yesterday was our day for negativity. But it's got to be hard to figure out your rotation if you're Mike Brown when you have so many guys that, frankly, right now are not playing as well.
Right.
What do I have here? I know this guy's better than that. Then that guy's not playing well. That guy's not playing well. So it's tough to figure out.
And you know, he's had to do that out of necessity too, right? It's not like he's tinkering or anything like that. Guys aren't getting it done. Guys aren't playing well. And so he's searching right now. He's like, all right, you know, this guy's not getting it done. Let me put in Kobe Jones. Let me put in Chris. So he's trying different combinations and matchups because guys just aren't playing well right now. And so we'll see how long that lasts. But, you know, hopefully tomorrow we won't be talking about this. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be talking about a great Kings win, and this team will be off running like they were a season ago.
Going back to the 7-game winning streak the Kings had that started a year ago tomorrow, they really started to flex their offensive muscle about that time. When they beat Cleveland, they scored 127. They had a 153 win against Brooklyn in that streak, 130, 112 over San Antonio. Yeah, so they really started to show there. Let's see, then they had lost a few, and then they had 37 against Indiana. I do think my point is this. I still think I understand why Mike Brown is stressing defense because he knows better than anybody how important that is for them to become a legitimate contender. But I still think this team, basically right now, their identity is offensive. I think that's what this team does best when they're playing their best. And I think they need to get back to that, which is hard right now without De'Aaron Fox. But I think that has to be the first step.
Yeah, I agree. Their identity, so we talk about lack of identity and everything. They're an offense.
Yeah. Yes.
We know who they are.
Yeah.
Like trying to make them into the Pistons bad boys or the Knicks of the 90s or something like that defensively, that's not the way to go. But when you look at this roster compared to last year, and I've said it before, I think it's an improved roster. But is it improved offensively? Like a guy like Terrence Davis, he had his limitations, but boy, could he get hot. You know, how many times did we see TD with the heat check? You know, you mentioned that game against the Nets when they dropped 150 plus. TD, if I'm correct, had 32 in that game. And so then we see Chris Duarte doing, you know.
That's a good point.
You know, and so if the team is offensively as great as it was last season, but you don't necessarily have the same personnel. Like, that's why Sasha has to get, you know, he's a guy that can hit 6 threes in a game and get hot quickly. And we haven't seen that so far. And so I also wonder, when you look at this team, their shots are like they pass up so many shots. I feel like too, like especially Mike Brown's gotten off. Like last year, I don't remember guys passing up as many shots. Like we know Terrence Davis wasn't passing up shots. Shoot, Shemezi Metu would come in and try and get him up too and try to get buckets. So I want to see guys, Chris Duarte get in his bag a little bit, get up some shots. I want to see Kevin Herter get up more shots. Keegan get up. Stop passing up shots. You know, they always say good shot for great shot. But Mike Brown also says let it fly.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like right now, especially in these last few games, they're sort of gun shy a little bit. They're scared to play.
I'm going to present the other side of that for you. And I'm not disagreeing with you, but there's another side that I've heard.
Yeah.
I don't know where the truth is. Last year, Keegan, he didn't take many bad shots. He took shots that he was comfortable with, and he shot, obviously, made a record number of threes. This year, with Mike Brown saying, let it fly, let it fly. You will never come out of the game for taking a shot, but you may for not taking a shot. Maybe there are some shots that Keegan feels like, I wouldn't normally take that, but I got to shoot this. And maybe that's one of the things that's disrupting the offense. I don't know. It's something that I've heard suggested and something I'll be watching closely.
You know, but here's the thing about it. And, you know, to that point that you just brought up, I would rather take too many shots than too few, especially early on. Let's say he comes out and starts jacking them up, takes 20 shots. I said it the other day. Then you can dial them back. All right, Keegan, I know you feel like you got it. You know, now let's look for better shots. You know, I'd rather a guy want to shoot too much than pass up and you got to motivate him.
Shoot the ball, because then at times you're playing 5-on-4. And I'm not saying that's what's happening with Keegan Murray or anything like that. But for this team to get to where they want to go, and Whitey, you know this, he has to be the third guy every single night, at least, at worst, the third guy. Some nights the second, some nights he's even number one. And so he can't pass up shots, because if Mike Brown's not going to get on you, if the coaching staff's not going to get mad at you, that's what, you know, the players aren't either.
Yeah, another thing you like to see when your team is down, one of your stars, is you like to see different guys. Like one night, so-and-so picks it up. Another night, another guy has a big night. Right now, and I think you just made this point a moment ago, you know, they had Terrence Davis last year. This year so far anyway, there aren't a lot of guys on the roster that you'd think, so-and-so is going to go for 20 tonight. You know, you don't have a ton of those guys.
Right.
To the point you made.
Yeah, and I've made that point several times. Like when you look at the Miami Heat and the runs that they've had, you know, I go back 5-6 years ago, you know, they had 6-7 guys like Duncan Robinson could hit you. You know, we saw Gabe Vincent could hit you. Max Strus could hit you for 20. And that's the hallmark of a great team, a good team. And right now the Kings are searching for guys outside of De'Aaron Fox that can actually do that.
When we come back after knocking off the Kings, Dillon Brooks, somebody's favorite player.
Yeah, my guy.
Dillon Brooks now has set his sights on the King himself. That's next. We come back to the Golden One Center to Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines and
they need to go, and you can save thousands in gas over the life of the vehicle.
Okay, but what about that Jeep Wrangler that everybody loves?
Big savings there too. Right now, save up to $13,000 off MSRP when you lease a new 2024 Jeep Wrangler Sport S4.
Stopped hurting, and the pain instantly, literally.
Back at the Golden One Center, Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper. Big day for Kyle, of course. Once again.
It's not surprising. This is how it should be.
Yeah. Doing virtually every game so far,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. I think I missed one. I got Friday's game I'm doing also. I'll miss
And
Monday.
that's a tournament game.
Yeah, that's a tournament game, right?
Yeah.
That'll be a big one, right? With the new court and everything. And so I'm going to treat it like a playoff game. It's the in-season tournament.
Yeah. I'm just looking here. You caught me in the middle of a scouting report. This was a scouting report for players now in the NBA. This was a scouting report on him right before the draft. What would you think of this guy? Okay. This is, again, right before he was drafted. Strengths, athletic scoring wing, enjoying breakout season. Downhill slasher, pressures the rim, capable shot creator, active rebounder, tough and competitive, active hands on defense, areas to improve, concerns, streaky shooter, shot selection, must get stronger, tendency to play too fast. What do you think of that guy?
No, it's somebody.
It's Keon Ellis.
Somebody I'd like on my team.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, somebody I'd like on my team.
Yeah, that's
somebody with some potential.
I hope he gets, a little bit of a run tonight, at least a chance to show that what we saw Monday was not a total fluke. And you made a great point. We were talking about Keon Ellis. What he did was great, but it was not against the Rockets' first unit. So,
right.
As well as he played and he can guard people in the way the team's struggling, I don't know. I'll be interested to see if he gets a chance tonight.
Yeah, if not now, when though, right? It's like he's coming off a solid game. The team is struggling. It's just so hard to crack a rotation, for a guy like that. And because you look at the guards that he's behind, the Malik Monks of the world, the Kevin Huerters of the world, De'Aaron Fox, obviously. And then, if you put him in over, let's say, a guy like Davion, let's say you take away some of Davion's minutes. I mean, what use is Davion then? I mean, it's a delicate balance. And so I do think, it's sort of like, a coach. You could be a great assistant coach, but when you got to slide over a couple of seats,
right,
sit in the chair, well, the same thing, being, the third string point guard or whatever. When you're going against other third stringers, but when you slide over and you got to go against first stringers,
right,
it becomes a lot difficult. And so maybe we will see him. It'll be interesting to see which tactic Mike Brown takes, because I brought it up earlier. If you're Mike Brown, do you give quick hooks? Like, do you pull guys quickly, or do you, try to get them to relax and not worry about it? And so if he goes with the quick substitutions, we could see Keon very early in this game.
don't you think a lot of that might hinge on, he'll have his plan going in, but then if by chance everything Portland throws in the general direction of the rim is going in and you're off to a slow start, you have to make some changes. If that, worst case scenario, if you fall behind, you're going to have to start pulling people.
Yeah, I think so. And,
but hopefully you won't.
Yeah, hopefully you won't. But one thing Keon gives you too, he's a competitor. I do like his competitiveness. He'll get after you defensively. He'll pick up some fouls, which I like. It's not silly fouls, or it's competitive fouls. And so, you may have to turn to him tonight if things go sideways early.
I'm not kidding. One point, and I think this wasn't what I thought it was, but at one point I thought he gave Dillon Brooks maybe just a little bit of a push, but it might not even have been. I think he was
you
just
were hoping it.
How sometimes you're moving in your arm, like you accidentally bump somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, because we needed to see more of that from the Kings. And, we talked to Matt Barnes and the old heads are just furious. The Kings did not respond over 2 games in any way, shape, or form to any of that.
Yeah, and it's personal pride, right? I mean, I mentioned it. I'm playing hoops at Folsom Lifetime, and I'm getting into a little shouting,
low bridging people.
Yeah, no, well, I don't know about all that, but I'm committing a couple of hard fouls. I'm sending a message, and if I could do that, come on, fellas. Dillon Brooks is talking trash. Oh yeah, they stopped inviting me. Actually, I'm not allowed back there. I'm joking. I might go there this Sunday, as a matter of fact. But no, it comes down to maybe not everybody on the team can do that, but shouldn't you have at least one guy who says, "Nah, we're not letting that happen"?
Gotta have at least
one guy.
A lot of people, maybe you're one of them, has said Trey Lyles could be that guy. By the way, when President Obama played basketball, he had a court at the White House.
Yeah.
And there was somebody, a Secret Service guy or somebody, caught him in the face one time.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
That guy wasn't ever invited back.
He wasn't invited?
Or he's like, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's okay. You're fine. Never invited back.
Hey, he got that story to tell the rest of his life. That would be me. That would probably be barred from the White House.
Your boy Dillon Brooks is getting ready to take on LeBron.
Yeah.
Dillon Brooks says, quote, ready to lock him up.
Ooh.
He's shooting the ball well. He's been playing well. So I'm just there to make him tired, make him get into that fourth quarter early. And, that's, I don't know, arguably one of the reasons that the Grizzlies decided to move on from him, because Dillon Brooks did have a lot of things to say about LeBron in the playoffs, and things didn't go well for Dillon Brooks and the Grizzlies in that series against the Lakers.
Yeah, and he's poking the bear a little bit, but, it's sort of like whatever gets you going, whatever floats your boat. Remember Lance Stevenson used to try and get under LeBron's skin, and, that didn't work out too well. I don't mind that, long as it's respectful. Like Dillon Brooks, I mean, like what he did last year, I don't respect guys who don't give me 40 or something like that. He's never come on, bro, and so we'll see tonight. Tonight they play each other, and we'll see what happens. But I don't mind that from a competitive standpoint. And if he was on my team, I wouldn't mind that at all. The problem is now you got to go and back it up. If you're going to do all the talking, I'm okay with it. Now you got to back it up, Dillon Brooks.
Dillon Brooks said of LeBron, I feel like he controls the media. I feel like a lot of guys, have these podcasts and love social media, but I don't really like it. I don't really like media. If I didn't have to talk to you guys, I wouldn't talk to you guys. And, I just block it out and just play basketball.
Wow. That's my guy. I like that, actually. It's and he's taking shots at LeBron. There are a lot of players now with me. Draymond Green. After the game, he's doing a podcast.
A lot of them are really good.
Exactly.
Like
He's, Dillon's all about his basketball, though. He's all about putting in the work and playing ball. And he plays with that edge, but he has to do that for himself, Whitey.
I know
that's his thing. That's his. Yeah, exactly. And if you take that away from him, he doesn't become the player that he is.
Isn't he the guy who in college, when Oregon played Duke, didn't Krzyzewski go to him?
Yes.
Or say, you're too good to act like that?
Yes.
Everyone was furious.
Yes.
Like, that's not your player.
Right.
You can't say that.
Yes. I do believe so. Yeah. You got good memory, man.
And then he agrees to, bless him, 4 years, $80 million with the Houston Rockets, where he's playing really well so far.
I'll tell you what, the Memphis Grizzlies could use Dillon Brooks. right about now with their 1-6 starters, something like that. And so he's been perfect for Houston, man. He's been exactly what that team needed, because obviously he's a veteran, a guy but he plays with heart. And that Houston team needed some heart. And, you could argue what we saw down there in Houston, this Kings team needs to show a little more heart.
Yeah, I don't even think you could. It's obvious. It's not even a debate. It's they definitely needed to, but they were just so demoralized.
Yes.
That's what we have to see an improvement in tonight.
Yeah, I wonder how much credit do we give Houston, because they played hard, physical, took Kings out of it. I don't think we'll see that with this Portland team. I don't think they're as physical. And so, but if I'm a Kings fan, what would concern me is it shouldn't be about the opponent. Like, Denver doesn't get out of whack or out of sorts no matter who they face. Boston, same way. Like, the best teams, no matter who they take on, Golden State, they still play their style of basketball. It's still very identifiable. With the Kings, they got taken out of everything. They were unrecognizable. That's concerning to me.
Yep, the greatest teams of all time play their game, and they don't match up to you.
Right.
You have to match up
figure
to
them
us.
out. Yeah.
And that's where Mike Brown wants his team. He wants them to get to that point. And so far they haven't been, but that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about tonight. We all saw it. We all saw how poorly they played, and being back home, they saw it. And I just think we're going to see the opposite tonight. If they have any ounce of professional pride, and we know they do, I just think we're going to see the opposite tonight.
I hope so. And I need to see it early on too. I don't need a close game and then in the fourth, all of a sudden you pull it out. Sure, that's great, but that's not sending a statement, a message. The message needs to be sent in the first quarter for Sacramento.
Mark J. Spears wrote a great piece today about Keegan versus Chris for the first time, and he joins us to break it down when we come we come right back to the Golden One Center. It's Draper and Gleason, Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
business technology Toshiba Studios. KHTK-AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Happy Wednesday, I'm Simone, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. After a displeasing road trip, the Kings return to beautiful downtown Sacramento tonight as they host the Portland Trail Blazers from Golden One Center. Kings, of course, hope to avoid a fourth straight loss tonight. They have yet to lose 4 consecutive games since starting last year with an 0-4 record. Can the Beam team find a way to shine without the touch of De'Aaron Fox? And can Sacramento's once lethal offense shred a feisty Rip City squad? As always, the Drive Guys are going to be providing their comprehensive insights and hot takes all afternoon long, right up until our exclusive game night coverage jumps off beginning at 5:30, with tip-off from Golden One Center scheduled for 7. You can listen right here, as always, on Sactown Sports. I'm Simone. Those are your headlines. Welcome into Hour 2 of the Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper coming to you from the Golden One Center, where tonight the Sacramento Kings turned their season around. Right, Kyle? They're going to do that, right? Right?
I like the positive. Yeah, they got
Yeah.
it. They got to turn it around tonight.
Yeah. Senior NBA writer for ESPN. He just posted a great story today at Anscape about the first competitive game between Keegan and his twin Chris, and that, of course, is tonight at the Golden One Center. Mark, thank you so much for your time. It's been a long time since we've chatted. With everything going on in the NBA, what drew you to this story?
Mark, you there?
4 months ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, I said I always think several months ahead on my stories, and I had actually done some stuff on Amen and Sarah Thompson already. The 7th and 8th pairs of twins coming into the league this year, right? And so I was like, well, what about the Murrays, man? I think there certainly should be something done on them. Not as much fanfare on them. I really, really like Keegan as a dude, and started to know Chris a little bit, and I just found their story to be interesting because in a lot of ways, them being separated for the first time last year. Mm-hmm. One coming to the NBA, one staying in school, and also getting the sense that they're enjoying the separation. So just thought it was a unique story, and they're both really kind of low-key guys, although I think Chris has talks a little bit more than Keegan does. But I just thought it was a unique story, and hopefully they'll get to guard each other tonight.
Yeah. Mark, my guy, what did you learn about the twins when talking to them? What kind of things stood out to you that you learned from them?
I learned their competitive fire, and I'll kind of finish the story up with this, but apparently when they play one-on-one, it gets pretty heated, and got to the point once where dad had to separate them. So there certainly is a lot of competitive fire. And then although they look the exact same and sound the same, they're very much their own person. I mean, I'm sure Chris probably was, a little disappointed he couldn't enter the NBA at the same time as his brother did. But, he felt like there was a big difference in points per game. I think Keegan averaged 22 his sophomore year at Iowa, whereas Chris averaged like 9. There's a big difference. And Chris actually considered entering the NBA draft, but kept his name in, and then he became the star at Iowa. So obviously Keegan's regarded in a much higher level. He's a budding star, needs to pick it up a little bit, but starter for the Kings, whereas Chris has only played in 2 games and try to find his way. So there is a difference there. I don't know if Chris is able to catch up with him, but he certainly isn't sounds like he feels pressured to follow in his brother's footsteps. He's trying to make his own way.
Mark J. Spears, nice enough to join us. And Mark, you, of course, wrote about Keegan the summer before his rookie year. In what ways would you say Keegan is a good fit for this Kings team and was a good fit which is one of the reasons they picked it up when they drafted him.
You know, the thing about him, he's just like that. He's quiet off the court, but his game is quiet too. But then at the end of the game, if he's had a great game, you're like, yo, he had 22. He had 6 threes. Like he has this quiet loudness to him in his game. And what I hope to see, and I think Kings fans hope to see, is what we saw in Summer League, an aggressiveness, a dangerous offensive scorer. And I do think that Mike would like him to be that as well. He's been a little timid so far, which, especially with Fox being out, you would hope that he would, take his game up to a higher level. I mean, I'm sure he has the greenest of green lights right now. But I know it's just a matter of time for it to hit with him. I think he has a chance to be really, really special. And the only thing I have a problem with the kid, you can tell him I said this, is we haven't gone fishing yet. He told me he's an avid fisherman. I've mentioned going fishing with him, and we haven't been able to make that happen yet. So I figured that a dude, I don't think Harrison fishes, even though he's from Iowa, but Keegan and Chris actually are avid fishermen. So hopefully I can get on a boat with them soon.
Yeah, that should be a good time, obviously. Mark, obviously, the Sacramento Kings fan base, a little upset with its team right now, man. They've hit a rough patch, 3 straight losses, and it's not just, the losing. It's the way they lost down there in Houston. What do you make of what's happening right now with the Kings?
I'm a little surprised. I mean, look, De'Aaron Fox is a superstar, right? And I thought him being out certainly would have an impact, but I feel like they've been competitive and won some games without De'Aaron in the past. Somebody has to step up, and Sabonis to me is the main one. He and Keegan and Harrison should be kicking themselves right now. It's embarrassing. You don't lose to Houston by that many points. Like, come on, man.
You're right.
100%, right? Yeah.
Right. Like, come on, man. Like, I don't know what's going on, what's happening. Like, well, then you got this long list of guards who are fighting for time. Like, look, man, this is your chance to prove to coach that you deserve to be playing more, that you deserve more minutes over the other 4 guards, and they're not embracing this moment. So, I'm sure now, like, the value of De'Aaron Fox in the mind of the Kings fans' eyes is getting bigger, but it also scares you because you wonder if something else happens to him. What happens to this team? This is a team that has high expectations. Mike has talked championship with them, not playoff with them. And right now, this looks like the team we saw 2 years ago, right? It doesn't look like what we saw in a breakthrough season last year. So, no, there's got to be more involved in that, man. It's one thing to lose, but it's another thing to be drilled. And then when you're getting beat up by a team that, I mean, what were they doing? Eating Trill burgers out there in Houston and listening to
hanging with Bun B and them, right?
Music? Like, yeah, like what were they doing out there, man? Like, I don't know. Did they go to a rodeo? I'm just really confused by them getting drilled by the Houston Rockets. That was one of the more surprising things that's happened this NBA season.
Mark J. Spears, nice enough to join us. I wanted to circle back to something you mentioned a few moments ago about the Murray brothers, Mark, which is really interesting. As close as the twins are, is it a good for them to not be teammates? Is it good for them right now? Or they feel good about, as much as they care for each other, about not being on the same team right now?
Yeah, no, it's funny because both of them are saying, like, we're good with me being here and him being there. Like, I was like, okay, is there more to that story? I mean, it's I think they FaceTime every day and they miss each other, but
right.
I can see it. I mean, think about it. You being face to face with somebody for your entire life, and I think you grow as a person. You get to do new things, and also probably make new friends, because I remember just in junior college, my first 3 years of my college basketball career, I was playing with my first cousin. So I kind of felt like we always had to hang out all the time, right? And be next to each other all the time. And I kind of like when 1 year I played at the University of D.C., my coach made me room with one of the bigs. Now, my cousin not making grades helped in that matter, I guess, because I couldn't room with somebody that wasn't playing.
You calling him out. You putting him on blast, Mark.
Yeah, I called him out, right? But can't room with somebody that ain't eligible. But no, I mean, you just, it's good for their growth. And the interesting thing too was it didn't work out for the Kings. And you guys remember before the draft, there was so much like, what if they draft him? What if both brothers are here? Had the Blazers not selected him, the Kings had the next pick. I wonder if they would have, thought about taking them, or they had to. I was actually a little surprised that he didn't work out in Sacramento. But maybe it just seems like for them, it's good that they got some breathing room. But I know their parents are going to be there tonight. I'm sure you guys will figure out a way to put them on TV. And from talking to both of them, they expect their parents to be pretty emotional watching them play. And hopefully Chris gets in and they figure out a way to get them two to guard each other. It's going to look like that Spider-Man meme when they're like pointing at each other.
Yeah. I said earlier, Chauncey, you got to play Chris Murray tonight. You're down like 3 or 4 guys. You're banged up. Like, now's the time he has to get in this game tonight. Mark, I know you have covered Mike Brown for a while. You know him well. The rough patch that the Kings are going through, one thing I know about Coach Brown, he believes in the work. If you put in the work, things will change. Speak to that, if you will, and just his competitive desire and desire to fix things when things are going a little sideways.
Well, one thing I know about him, he's kind of like a military professional. Not kind of, he is. He wasn't in the military, but he grew up was born on a base, has a military background, and he's really, really meticulous about preparation and getting things right. And so I'm sure if there's somebody that in this the hardest, it's got to be Mike. He certainly takes a lot of pride in the way he coaches and the way his team is playing, and to not be competitive, to get blown out, which is probably something I don't know that you really saw last season. That's got to be alarming to him. So knowing him, I'm sure he's been spending some late nights at the Golden One Center, spending some late nights at his house watching film. Maybe he needs to get on his Harley and do some thinking driving his Harley around, because he said he hasn't driven his Harley much lately. But I know it like pains him, and he's in this situation. So I'm sure he's really squeezing himself. And it's early, man. The NBA's in waves. In a month, you'll forget about this. But I'm sure they probably feel some pressure tonight. Like, you can't lose to Portland at home.
Right. I think that's the problem. They've been feeling too much pressure as it is. It's one of the reasons they've been struggling. Hopefully tonight they can just, as Steve Kerr likes to say, have some fun, play with some joy. Mark Spears, our guest. If you haven't already, if you're a Kings fan, you got to check out his story on the Murray twins at Anscape. And Mark, it's a pleasure to talk with you again. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, and hey, has Kyle figured out Sactown yet? You got
man.
all the
Here's the funny thing about Mark Spears. Here's the funny thing about Mark Spears. He used to work in Louisville. I worked in Louisville. He used to work in Boston. I worked in Boston. He's from Oakland. He's a Bay Area guy. I'm right down the street. I'm trying to get rid of this dude. Everywhere I go, he's there. Man, it's killing me.
That means I was here first. Why are you following me around?
That's true. Hey, man. Hey, I tell you what, I would love to have your career. This dude has done so many great things. Hey, and congratulations. You were inducted into the San Jose State Hall of Fame. Is that correct? Athletic Hall of Fame?
Well, I was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball.
Yeah. No, I thought
that's a little bigger deal.
No, but then they retire your jersey. They did something for you recently.
No, they say they had nothing to do with athletics.
All right. My bad, man.
Wait, no. I mean, I got the Hearst Award for journalism excellence, which I know Dr. Fauci has gotten an award too, so that's helping them a lot. Yeah.
See, I'm just trying to give you your props, big bro. You know that.
Hey,
I'm trying. I know about the Naismith Hall of Fame. Come on, big fella. I knew that.
Hey, both of those awards had nothing to do with my basketball skills. It tells you a lot about what kind of player I was in college.
Right. I appreciate you. Hey, you in town for this tonight or not?
Well, I wasn't able to make it.
Oh man, we gotta get you up here again. Gotta get you up here soon.
Yeah. Tell Scoot to play it. I'd have been there, you know. But,
Yeah.
Blame
it on Scoot.
I just wanted to listen to you on TV, brother. That's what it was.
Oh, all right. Make sure you watch tonight, man. I know you got that league pass.
I will.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah.
All right, take it.
Yeah. Oh, the one and only Mark Spears. When we
Oh my God. He gonna hit me up like, Trace, what you doing, man? What you doing? You know what? I thought I saw something on social media. Like
you were just trying to be nice.
No, exactly. Yeah. I thought he posted something like a month ago at his alma mater, but maybe I missed out on it. I missed that.
Who are the Kings? Will we get the answer tonight? We're right back with that and more from the Golden One Center Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Drive Guys coming to you from the Golden One Center. By the way, your Sacramento State Hornets are home this Saturday, 2 p.m. kickoff against the Cal Poly Mustangs. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. I know yesterday Jay was helping you find some places to eat, some local places.
Yeah.
Kyle, and it looks like maybe you checked out a place or two.
Dude, I'm ready to take a nap, man. I hit up Dub Plate Kitchen, got me some jerk chicken, just chowed down on it during the commercial break. I'm ready to take a nap, man. Great Jamaican food, man. The jerk chicken is bomb. It was fire. Shout out to my guy, Jay, obviously. He gave me like 20 restaurants to try. And so I'm going to just check them off the list.
He was giving you a bunch more.
I'm going to just check them off the list, take them down one by one. And, you know, I'm a foodie, man. You know, I might have to create an IG account, something like that, put it on social media. But no, the Dub Plate was good today.
Do you have a pregame ritual like players do? I mean, what you eat, obviously doing the show. Maybe you've had to change, incorporate that into your game day.
Last season, the Sacramento.
But do you have a game day routine?
I actually do.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I do. And, you know, it varies home and on the road, obviously. But I don't like to eat before games. And so you know how they have media dining?
Mm-hmm.
I won't eat it. And so that's why. So I just ate lunch, you know, about half an hour ago or so. I won't eat again until after the game.
Okay.
And so I'll be starving during the game, and then that's why I eat so bad afterwards. But I don't like to have a full belly when I broadcast, actually. And so I'll have my tea and everything like that. But that'll be
for your voice, right?
Yes,
yeah.
tea is for the voice. And let me tell you, on the road, I'll take you behind the scenes on the road here. You know, usually the team has practice, let's say from 10 to 12, and then they have food available for the team, brunch from like 12 to 1:30. So I'll have that. And then I'll go for a walk, and then I'll come home and shower at the hotel and shower and get ready. So I'll do like an hour walk after eating. just to get my mind right, just to feel, you know what, let me unplug from everything, take a deep breath, get some fresh air, go for this walk. And then once I get back to the hotel, it's game time.
What are you doing your prep? I know you're doing a lot
No,
of
I
prep
do it in the morning. I do it
in
right
the morning.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I do it at shoot around. So I'll go to the shoot around with the team. And while they're working out, I'm sitting, right there courtside on my computer, doing prep. And you do prep the night before.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
In all your prep, have you been able to gather when we may see De'Aaron Fox return to the lineup?
No, I haven't. And, I'm a little surprised, that it's taking this long. Initially, I thought it would be a couple of weeks, but then we heard De'Aaron Fox last week say, oh, yeah, I just knew it'd be a few days or a week.
Sense to me.
Yeah, the way he sounded, it was like, oh, yeah, I'll be back any day now. And so now here we are, a week later from when we heard from De'Aaron Fox, and he's still not there. You got a big one coming up Friday against Oklahoma City. He is progressing. I do know that. I did not go to shoot around today. They didn't have practice yesterday. And so I want to hear what Mike Brown has to say pregame about De'Aaron's status.
Yeah, I think the reason he said close, two reasons I can think of. One is, you never want the opposition to know, you want them to prepare for you. And then two, in his mind, he probably is telling himself, I'm ready. I'm going to be back any day. That's probably what he's telling himself. So, and maybe that's not totally realistic, but we're getting there. I don't know. I'm like you. When we heard he had a moderate sprain, the human body is a human body, whether you're De'Aaron Fox or not.
Unless you're Aaron Rodgers. Unless you're Aaron.
Yeah, even he had to back off. I guess he told somebody on the field Monday, that's one of the Chargers. Asked him, when are you back? He said, a few weeks. And the microphones picked that up, and he's had to say, it's going to be longer than that. So, yeah.
Like, you can't rush these things, right? They heal when they heal kind of thing. You know?
And there's no doubt that the Kings don't want him back until he's fully healthy, because otherwise then you're just creating more problems.
Right. Exactly. And so, but that's what's so frustrating about the losses to Houston. If you get the wins down in Houston, you're not feeling like, oh man, we need De'Aaron Fox back, And so hopefully, Fox is not being impacted by what happened in Houston, because when he does come back, the last thing you want is for him to re-aggravate it. And so, obviously not tonight. I'd be surprised if Friday. I'm looking more towards Monday, final home game at against Cleveland, and that'll be 2+ weeks off that leg, off that ankle, and so we'll see, man.
Now, not to put you on the spot, I know you may not be aware of this, but how does that work if a player and a team or the coach, they're not all on the same page? Who decides whether the guy's playing or not? Obviously, a coach doesn't have to play the guy. The medical staff may say we don't recommend that he play, but but the player says, I'm good to go. Who ultimately is making that decision?
It's the medical staff. Well, it's the medical staff and the player. The coach really doesn't have much say in it. It's not like the old days, like, no, you're getting out there or you're playing. No, it's not. The coach usually just takes the advice from the medical staff and the player, and usually they work in conjunction. Now, we've seen some times around the NBA, I think of Jason Tatum, for example, where the medical staff will say, you know what, you need to sit out this game. And he'll say, no, I want to play, and he overrules them. So ultimately it comes down to the player, but the medical staff has a big say in it as well.
Yeah. So hopefully if that's something that's going on, at least right now, the medical staff and the organization are able to impress upon De'Aaron Fox the importance of not playing until he's ready to go.
Right. Exactly. And his teamate got to pick him up. That's why you have teammates, right? When one guy's down, it's like, that's why you're a team. It's not golf. It's not tennis. You're not supposed to, just because, this one guy's down, you're not supposed to win. And so that's why these guys need to step up for De'Aaron Fox tonight.
Who are the Kings? Will we get the answer to that question tonight? I think we'll get part of the answer. And I agree with you. I think we both feel like ultimately the Kings right now, no matter what Mike Brown envisions for them right now, their truest self as a team is an offense first team. And that's what they've got to get back to tonight.
Yeah, and we talked about it in our first segment. It needs to be fun, free-flowing basketball. That's the one thing we could always say last season about this Kings team. They looked like they were having fun out there.
They were fun to watch as a result.
They were fun to watch. Guys were smiling. What we saw the last 2 games was the total opposite of that. And so, sure, Mike Brown, you want to, be able to lock everybody down and have the best defense in the league and everything like that. But you don't want to sacrifice the enjoyment that the players had last season and at times this season. You don't want, at times, I know it's a job and they get paid great money, but last season, it didn't feel like work a lot of times for them. Like, it felt like they were happy to come to the arena. What we saw in Houston looked like a team that was like, oh, man, I got to go to work today. And you could just sense that on the court. And so I want to see how they respond tonight. Do they get back to that free-flowing offense?
Yeah, tonight is an opportunity. Nobody having anything to do with the Kings wanted them to play the way they did in Houston, but they did. Here they are.
Yep.
Tonight, you've got an opportunity to show that that wasn't us, and we have the resilience to bounce back from that. And I feel in my heart and my bones they will do that tonight, but they need to. Yeah.
And they do. You need to give the pregame speech tonight.
Go.
You're fired up. You want to see it from this
is an
team.
Opportunity, guys.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on, fellas.
Yeah.
In front of your home crowd against, a Portland team that's banged up. No excuses tonight. Like, this has to be the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the banged up and bewildered Portland Trailblazers need to climb on Domas's back and go for a ride tonight. A ride to victory. Ride up the purple beam all the way to the top there. Coming up next to look at the one thing the Kings actually have done very well this year.
Okay.
There aren't a lot of things. There's one thing, you look at the numbers, there's one number that jumps off the page. One thing the Kings have done very, very well, and it's very encouraging. We have that for you next year from the Golden One Center. Draper, Gleason, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He stopped the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Expect sunny skies and a light breeze for the afternoon. Expect winds out of the north 5 to 15, highs in the upper 60s to low 70s with overnight lows in the 40s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Winter's coming, so let's kick off the cold season right and get your heater all tuned up. Now just $79. No matter how cold it gets outside, you'll always be warm and toasty inside. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from in the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you. Order online and earn rewards. Fire Wings. Just wing it.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
When every shot counts, the professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio encourage you to try the brand new Titleist T-Series irons. Irons designed to enhance your play through control, distance, flight, forgiveness, looks, sound, and feel. With 4 T-Series models, the fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at HagenOaks.com.
Guys, your testosterone level can impact your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Book your testosterone level check at Revive Men's Health, Sacramento. They're the local experts with guaranteed treatment for low T and ED. There are no lab fees, and all your tests are included when you start treatment. And many patients find Revive more affordable than their insurance deductibles and copays. Book your testosterone level check today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"? "You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa." Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Your defending Big Sky champion Sacramento State Hornets are home this Saturday afternoon against the Cal Poly Mustangs. It's Military Appreciation Day at Hornet Stadium as we honor our local heroes. And don't miss the pregame flyover as kickoff is set for 2 p.m. Let's pack Hornet Stadium for the final regular season home game of the year as the Hornets try for a 4th straight trip to the postseason. Don't miss any of the action or excitement of Hornet football. Get your tickets now at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles, drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. Makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. Happy Wednesday, I'm Simone, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. After a displeasing road trip, the Kings return to beautiful downtown Sacramento tonight as they host the Portland Trail Blazers from Golden One Center. Kings, of course, hope to avoid a 4th straight loss tonight. They have yet to lose 4 consecutive games since starting last year with an 0-4 record. Can the Beam team find a way to shine without the touch of De'Aaron Fox? And can Sacramento's once lethal offense shred a feisty Rip City squad? As always, the Drive guys are going to be providing their comprehensive insights and hot takes all afternoon long, right up until our exclusive game night coverage jumps off beginning at 5:30 with tip-off from Golden One Center scheduled for 7. You can listen right here, as always, on Sactown Sports. I'm Simone. Those are your headlines. Welcome back in to more Drive Guys.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
I like the way Simone characterized that road trip. Did you catch that? She says it was after a displeasing road trip. Absolutely.
Yeah, I had a few words.
Was.
I thought that would be eloquent.
That said it all.
Yeah. She has a way of putting things that makes you feel, okay, it's not that bad. We're all right.
It's just displeasing.
Okay.
It's just unfavorable.
How was BravoCon? Hopefully it was not displeasing.
Incredible. I recommend everyone go try it out next year. It was incredible. Sensational. Delectable.
Saw, one of my friends is down there, and she posted some pictures, and it's a thing, huh?
It's a thing.
I had no idea until you brought it up the other day.
Huge deal. I had the time of my life.
Did
quite
you see
simply.
Andy Cohen down there?
I did, of course.
Oh,
I was a big deal down there. I had a costume. It was a thing.
You had a costume?
Yes. I was the only person.
Where the pictures at?
I
Where
thought
are the pictures?
I will post the pictures online. I definitely thought it was a convention, so people were going to be wearing costumes. I was the only one in costume.
Wow. What kind of costume is?
It's hard to
Bravo
explain.
condo.
It's hard to
Like,
explain.
what, you dress
There's a
up as
lot of
Real
inside
Housewife or
jokes.
something like
No,
that?
there were some people doing that, but it's hard to explain.
Did
I'll
people
have to tell
react
you.
like, "Oh, that's great, you wear a costume," or was it
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
no,
my
people were
goodness
yelling at me all day.
Oh,
They
good.
understood the joke, so I was yelling back at people all day. I was essentially a bowl of pasta, which is a node to Vanderpump Rules, of course, and it's a whole thing.
Well played.
Oh,
well
man.
played.
I missed you guys. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah. Hopefully we take care of this displeasing road trip tonight. By the way, your Sacramento State Hornets home this Saturday, 2 p.m. kickoff against the Cal Poly Mustangs. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. You got a couple of NBA notes for us?
Yes, some big news. Shams and Woj, a couple of different reports coming out. Let's start with what Woj reported about what's going on with the Denver Nuggets. You know, Jamal Murray, he hurt his hamstring, and according to Woj, he'll likely be sidelined for the remainder of the month because of his right hamstring strain. As we know, Denver, you know, the top team in the Western Conference, they got a tough game tonight. Who do they play tonight? They play somebody. I'm drawing a blank.
Play the Warriors? Do they play the Warriors?
Warriors.
Tonight?
Is it the Warriors? Yeah, they got a big game. And what's interesting about this Jamal Murray hamstring, the Kings host the Denver Nuggets December 2nd. And so, you know, that's less than a month. So Murray might be out for that game. Woj is saying that he'll be out 3 to 4 weeks with that hamstring strain.
Yeah, it's Warriors and the
Nuggets.
tonight.
Yeah, big matchup tonight. So that's one. And then Shams also reporting about Brad Beal, who we've yet to see in a Phoenix Suns uniform. Shams is saying that Bradley Beal will make his debut tonight against the Chicago Bulls, still without Devin Booker, who may come back on the upcoming homestand. But we might see Brad Beal tonight.
Friday, when you were in Houston and Jerry Reynolds was in for you, we had Eddie Johnson on. Eddie, of course, is the Suns broadcaster.
Oh, yeah, Eddie, yeah.
We asked him about that, and he said the thing is, you know, Eddie, of course, is old school, played in the NBA in the 80s. He says players now, they don't get the work done in camp. And what happens is you don't play in preseason games, you don't work in camp, and then the season starts and you got a sore back.
Right.
So I don't know, but I mean, if Eddie Johnson says something,
if he said right,
I'm with him. Yeah. So
you're
a
not
little
gonna be like, no,
frustrated.
Eddie. Yeah.
But
you know,
Bradley Beal hasn't played yet.
Why do you think that is? Is it because the shortened camp time? Is that what he's saying? Or, you know, no two-a-days anymore like there used to be?
Yeah, he says that you should be getting in shape in camp, and instead it seems like there are players that they're more concerned about getting their rest for later in the season. You know, you don't want to wear down, but you have to get into shape. And anyway, I guess that's good. I'm not a big Suns guy, but I guess that's good for the league that Bradley Beal's.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that was one of the big offseason moves, and we want to see whether it's going to work or not. What's it look like?
I know you are much more optimistic about it than I am. But
I think so.
It's going to be fun.
I'm a big Bradley Beal fan. You know, he was languishing, like that word, languishing in Washington. You know, that's where careers go.
Yeah, it was his time there was displeasing.
Just very displeasing. Yes, very displeasing. And so now he gets to play on, you know, a Western Conference contender. The bright lights will be on him. We'll see how he responds.
Maybe I'm grabbing at straws here, but there's one thing here is we look for glimmers of hope for the Kings. And obviously they win tonight. Things are looking a lot better. Well, there's one thing the Kings have done very well. We touched on this a couple days ago. The Kings are second in the league in turnover percentage.
Yes.
They're only turning the ball over 11.2 times per game, considering, and they haven't played with a lot of pace. They're trying to, but to try to play at pace and to take care of the ball like that, that's a really good sign going forward.
That's a great sign because, you know, you're not giving away possessions that way. And so, you know, that's one thing we can hang our hat on. You know, I'll take it a step farther. Harrison Barnes, if I'm correct, he has 4 turnovers. No, it's 4 fouls, excuse me. 4 fouls the entire season so far.
I'm not sure I like
I know, right? And I said that. I'm like, hold on, dude.
4 turnovers, I'm definitely down with
it. No, you're right. But he only has 4 fouls. But to your turnover point, with no De'Aaron Fox and you're playing with a backup point guard, that's kind of a shocking stat.
It is.
Out there.
Yeah. So, you get everything else in order here starting tonight. That bodes well for the short term and the long term this year. They just got to play a lot better tonight. Look, let's call it as it is here. We have Mark J. Spears on. He said, you can't lose to Houston like that, right? He said, you just can't do that 2 nights in a row. It can't happen.
It can't happen, and it's the same thing. You can't lose to Portland tonight. Respect Chauncey Billups. They got some young talent over there, but you can't lose to Houston. In Portland. And the thing about the Kings, we can talk about the defense and physicality and all that, but really what's been so disappointing is the offense so far this season. Like
the one thing that we thought we could count on.
The one thing we thought we could count on this season. And so right now the Kings 20th in the NBA in offensive efficiency, a far cry from what they were last year. They're only averaging 110.5 points. They averaged better than 118, I think it was, last season. And so, we could talk about the defense all we want, Mike Brown, and we could talk about the team being physical. Yes, that needs to happen, but they need to get back to playing some Kings offense.
Manny Too Legit, the YouTube chat, asks, Whitey and Drapes, who do you think will step up for today's game? Will give that energy to boost everyone up for hopefully a win tonight. Who's going to do it?
I'm going with my guy, Keegan Murray. Brother here, mom and dad going to be up in the building. Younger sister probably be here as well. I think Keegan gets it going. And, it's interesting, because is it on Keegan or on the coach? Like, for instance, when Kevin Huerter was struggling earlier in this season, we saw Mike Brown call plays. It looked like right from the jump for Kevin Huerter coming off that high dribble handoff with Sabonis. Do we see Mike Brown try to get Keegan going very early on in this game?
Yes, I like that. I'm going with Malik Monk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure he's not happy. He didn't get to play much in the last game. And to me, he's a guy that has the fiery, the fiery demeanor to really help get his teammates going. I think Sabonis has to play well, but, he's not quite that type of guy typically. Neither is Keegan, but I think Malik Monk, when he comes in tonight, I think he's going to bring that off the bench and energize the team.
And what I would do if I'm Mike Brown, I might bring Malik Monk in early.
Yeah.
Like I'm not waiting until the 6-minute mark or something like that. 8 minutes, 9 minutes, because Malik, to me, the more he plays, I think the better he'll get. Like, especially with no De'Aaron Fox, 26 minutes ain't going to get it done.
Nope.
Like, we need to see Malik 32, 33 minutes out there. Let him get into some sort of flow. That didn't happen the other night, obviously, because of the foul trouble. But I would like to see Malik Monk get some extended minutes tonight.
Tonight, the Kings need to bring a controlled fury after what that we've seen the last 2 games. I think Malik Monk is more capable than anybody else who's going to play tonight on the Kings, who can bring that element, an infusion off the bench of controlled fury. That's what I'm looking for.
Let me ask you this, though, because I want to see that, too, from Malik Monk. But we're not worried about him, right?
No.
Right?
No.
Just asking. Yeah. Like, I'm worried about Kevin Huerter. I'm worried about Keegan. And so to your point about Malik, yes, I would love to see that because he kind of is a litmus test, a barometer for this team. When he's flowing, we saw it in the Lakers game. This team is tough to beat. But I also, Kevin Huerter got to get it going. He started a little bit the other night. Keegan Murray got to get it going. Really, Domantas Sabonis has to get it.
No question about
that. It's almost everybody,
no
right? Everybody has to have a bounce back game.
I see Malik as a guy who can bring the energy that is a foundation for everyone else starting to do what they're starting.
No, you're 100% right. Like, he's the guy. You can see him flying around. I could picture it right now, smiling, flying around, hitting big shots, talking trash. No, I can see it.
I don't think he'll start, but again, I think they may have to start thinking about that at some point. But yeah, control fury off the bench. For now, we'll go with that. Up next, does the commissioner's plan to save the NBA All-Star Game have any chance of succeeding? And have you heard what the commissioner says is the reason why the All-Star Game is not as competitive?
No. You going to tell me that?
You won't believe. He says, oh, yeah, we figured it out. See what you think when we return here to the Gold One Center to Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He stopped the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear through the night tonight. It'll be chilly tomorrow morning with overnight lows in the upper 30s. We'll have sun mixed with a few clouds tomorrow with highs in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years. Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit. Nothing slows my little girl down, except a stuffy nose. Mommy. That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex? Breathe. Her stuffy nose is gone for now. And so is she.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
O'Reilly. It's See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Replace your worn-out wiper blades and get up to a $20 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you purchase a pair of select wiper blades. See store for details. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Dell's Black Friday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top-brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Can I say something nice about the Portland Trailblazers, the Kings opponent tonight?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
It's hard to know for certain because we're not up there, but I think the Blazers have done a pretty good job of trading the face of the franchise and still ending up in a spot where there's reasonable hope and optimism for their franchise. You know, some teams, even with the Warriors, when Durant left, I mean, there was a smoldering crater that it took them a couple years to fill, and then they did win another championship. You lose a guy of that caliber, and there aren't many, and Dame has just been synonymous with Portland Trailblazers basketball. It was an awkward situation, but I think that, you know, they got Scoot. They got some good players ultimately in exchange for him. I think they did a pretty good job.
And they got some picks, too.
Yeah.
They got some picks coming up. And, you know, you talk about the Warrior situation, you know, with Kevin Durant leaving the way he did. It's like, how do you capitalize? That's why it's better to trade a star than risk it going to losing him for nothing, especially in today's. And if you remember, too, because you and I are, you know, we're NBA fans. Remember back in the day, you used to trade a superstar. You could never really get real value back, like anything close to it. Nowadays, I think it's different. Look at Brooklyn and the way they traded Kevin Durant, getting Mikal Bridges, getting Cam Johnson some picks. Like, now you can get value for these superstars, which you couldn't get before.
I agree, and I think former King Danny Ainge had a lot to do with that, getting 4 number ones for Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. And you know, we can go back to the Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce trade, in which he traded those two guys to Brooklyn and got the the picks that swapped and ultimately landed Jason Tatum. For Jaylen Brown. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that, you know, Danny did a great job with that.
On the chat here from Mojo916, prediction: Colby Jones comes in and scores 20+ points! Exclamation mark.
Dude, if Colby scores 20, the Kings are scoring 140. And they're winning by at least 30. And so bring it on. I would love to see it. By the
way, Mojo, a little skeptical. I don't know why, but earlier you shared your story about your pregame routine. And Mojo said on the chat, he said, "Really? A 1-hour walk?" And I took it to mean he's not convinced that you're actually doing walking for an hour.
No, or maybe he needs to get off his mom's basement couch and get out there and do some exercise, big fella, because your boy is out there working hard. I'm doing the walks. I'm doing the Peloton every morning. I got my biking going, the biking. Come on, man.
Here it is. He says an hour walk.
An hour walk?
Really?
What else am I going to do on the road? What, you want me to play hopscotch on the road? Come on, man. I'm out there getting the calisthenics in, the exercise in.
Yeah. I'm just telling you what he said. You know, I believe you. Yeah.
No, you know why, though? Because I walk to FedEx every city I go to, because I print out my materials at FedEx. And so I walk to FedEx in every city I go to. Well, and I got my earphones in, you know, my AirPods. And so that's my ritual. You asked me my ritual. This isn't that guy's ritual. Nice enough to share. Is my ritual, you know?
You were nice enough to share it.
And I'm getting ripped for
taking shots at you. That doesn't seem right.
Man.
Pike 916, I'm glad the All-Star game is going back to East versus West. Yeah, I guess I am, but I don't know that it matters.
I don't know if it matters. You know, there needs to be some sort of, first of all, guys just need to play harder. That would be the true answer. But second of all, if the league is looking to do something, maybe you incentivize home court advantage, like MLB tried with their All-Star game.
I was the only person in the world who liked that.
You like that idea,
baseball, and nobody else.
But maybe you do that in the NBA, and guys will try.
I'm mentioning this because the commissioner came out Monday and said he will take responsibility for the lack of intensity apparent in recent All-Star games. And the commissioner says, here's why the All-Star games are not competitive. He says Chris Paul talked to him, and Chris Paul said, you guys tell us how important the All-Star game is, but then you change all our pregame protocols so that we don't go through our typical routine, speaking of routines, as we would before the game, because you have these elaborate introductions. No complaint about the introductions. We understand why you do it, but then you expect us to go out and be in the mindset that we're playing a typical basketball game. That's garbage.
No, but you know what, though? I will defend CP3. The All-Star game is about everything but the actual game when players get there. Like, the practices aren't real practices. The warm-up's not real. Like, they're doing so many other things. And it's not necessarily the league's fault. Part of it is because the league is asking them to make all these appearances. But these players also are their own corporations, so their agents have parties, meetings, and things like that. Like, the game is the last thing on these guys' mind.
I just think all-star games are obsolete now. All
around.
In the
all
NFL,
around.
you don't even have the Pro Bowl.
Oh, yeah, that's all.
Baseball's is, I think, because of the nature of the game. You know, you can still have an all-star game, but it's just, and I'm not saying, oh, it's better in the old days. I understand it. Basketball players understand, wow, we have a lot of stake. We make a lot of money. This game doesn't count. I don't want to get hurt. So there's really no way around that. It's just that's the reality now that we're in.
Right, but the only problem I have with the players' stance about this and not wanting to get hurt and the game doesn't mean we see guys in pickup runs around the country in the offseason going hard at each other. Rico Hines has one on the UCLA campus every August. Videos are posted. These guys, the Drew League, like guys are going harder in those than an actual All-Star game.
Good point. But isn't that because guys are trying to get into game shape? They're trying to
Yeah, that's part of it. But, it's like, as a player, how do you turn it off? Like, where's the competitive fire? Like, once you start sweating and get going, like what happened is this past All-Star game was a joke. Jason Tatum being allowed to just, it was just like, come on, that's no fun. And, my son was into it a little bit, but I was like, man, this is bad.
Yeah, it's not basketball anymore.
Right.
And I don't think it has been for a long time. That's just the way it is. I'm not saying, I'm not, get off my lawn. It was better in the old days. I'm saying for what you just have to enjoy it for what it is. But the commissioner here is saying that Chris Paul also said halftime is too long. So he said, the halftime is going to be shorter. Like, like that's going to make the game more competitive.
Yeah,
it's very funny.
They're doing everything but actually fixing it. Like all these solutions, all these things they're talking about, none of it is helping. All right, how do we fix it?
Right. How do we fix the Kings and Domas Sabonis? Only Sabonis can stop the Sabonis slander. That's what we have for you when we come back to the Golden One Center, where the Kings are taking on the Trailblazers tonight. It's the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
O'Reilly. It's See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Replace your worn-out wiper blades and get up to a $20 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you purchase a pair of select wiper blades. See store for details. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Dell's Black Friday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top-brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. What's going on at Hoblet this month, Chad?
We're celebrating the Black Friday sales event all month long, which means you're saving big with up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 crew cabs with no payments for 90 days. That means you get your new truck with no payments until 2024. And we have new Rams starting under $30,000.
That's probably why you're the number one Ram truck dealer in California and number 3 in the nation.
Well, that, and because we also have huge savings on heavy duties too, with up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 2500 heavy-duty crew cabs. That means you can get the brand new heavy-duty truck you need starting at $45,995 and no payments until next year.
There you go. Get your new truck now at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center or search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$15,000 total net savings on 1,500 after $11,000 factory rebates and $4,000 dealer discount. 5 of this net savings. Under $30,000 VIN number 527379. $15,000 total net savings on 2,500 after $10,000 factory rebates and $5,000 dealer discount. 5 of this net savings. $45,995 VIN 502146. Rebates include $1,000 case construction bonus cash. Must have purchased eligible case equipment from qualifying dealer. No payments for 90 days through Chrysler Capital.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Gibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Happy Wednesday, I'm Simone, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. After a displeasing road trip, the Kings return to beautiful downtown Sacramento tonight as they host the Portland Trail Blazers from Golden One Center. Kings, of course, hope to avoid a 4th straight loss tonight. They have yet to lose 4 consecutive games since starting last year with an 0-4 record. Can the Beam team find a way to shine without the touch of De'Aaron Fox? And can Sacramento's once lethal offense shred a feisty Rip City squad? As always, the Drive Guys are going to be providing their comprehensive insights and hot takes all afternoon long, right up until our exclusive game night coverage jumps off beginning at 5:30 with tip-off from Golden One Center scheduled for 7. You can listen right here, as always, on Sactown Sports. All right, about one more hour left of the Drive, guys. I'm Simone. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to it.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
College Draper, Whitey Gleason coming to you from the Golden One Center. Kings and Blazers coming up. I got to tell you, Kyle, maybe I would guess you can relate to this, maybe not. Portland Trail Blazers, when I think about it, I get kind of a sense of heartache because there was one series many years ago, would have been, 23 years ago now?
Yeah.
I was really pulling for these Portland Trail Blazers.
What, the Jailblazers?
And a guy who I know once dunked on you, which is
my guy.
Yeah, which if I were you, I would be a badge of honor. But you remember the 2000 Western Conference Finals? It was Kobe, Shaq against Rashid, Bonzi,
Ruben Patterson.
Yeah, and the Blazers had them down 15 Game 7, and the Lakers came back and won that 7-game series.
Think about that.
Oh!
Yeah, think about that. And Rashid was my guy. And, funny story. I told the story about how he dunked on me, right? You ever...
Which, again, to me, excuse me, but that is a badge of honor.
Exactly, right. I got dunked on by Rashid. Well, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Getting dunked on, to me, is a badge of honor. That shows you were playing defense. You were trying to do something. Well, she dunked on me, but I didn't follow up the story with you and let you know that summer we played on the same summer league team and won a championship together.
Wow.
See, so I didn't just get hammered on by, an NBA player. I won a championship.
Wow.
With an NBA player.
Yeah, let's get him on the show today.
I don't know him that well. He's coaching high school or G League or something somewhere in the Atlanta area, if I'm correct. Rashid Wallace.
Yeah, he was outstanding player. I think he's underrated. But, I really wanted that Portland team to beat that Laker team. Wasn't to be, and I guess ultimately the Lakers prove they're the better team. Whatever. Okay, onward and upward.
We don't like to hear that, Whitey. The Lakers were the better team.
I know. It's hard to say.
That sentence just doesn't sit right with people.
I know. I'm still processing that. You sent me a tweet yesterday. I know we touched on it yesterday, but I think it's worth revisiting here. This is from Nate Jones, right? Who's an NBA agent and marketer.
Yeah. He's Dame Lillard's guy. Him and Dame Lillard are extremely close.
Well, here's what he said on Twitter. He asked a question, true or false? Sabonis is just the 2020s David Lee. And then someone, we talked about that a little bit. It's like, no, that's just not close. But somebody responded to that and said, why do you hate Sabonis? And Nate Jones said, I don't hate Sabonis. Good player with a long-term fit issue if the Kings don't find the perfect partner for him at the 4. If they don't, Sabonis may just be a stepping stone for the Kings the way Lee was for the Warriors.
That's so disrespectful, though. Where do you want to go with this, Whitey? Because you know where I'm about to take it. I'm going to let you direct this. Where do you want to go with this?
How many times, and we haven't been doing the show that long, but how many times have we talked about NBA people, national media people disrespecting Domas? Happens a lot. And I think the slander stops when Domas stops it. Some of it's on him. Some of it is people don't realize what's going on. But tonight is a great example of that because tonight the Kings really need him to bring a solid effort. They don't need him to score 40. It'd be great if he did, but they need him to set the tone. They need him to play better. He has been lost the last couple of games, and he needs to be one of their leaders again. So this is a great opportunity for Domas to start showing people like Nate Jones, you know what? You're just wrong.
I don't know what it is about Domantas Sabonis that people want to pick on him so much. Is it the lack of three-point shooting? Is it the defense? Like, what is it about him that he always gets the criticism? I don't want to point fingers at guys, but Domantas Sabonis is probably a little farther down on the list of issues for this Kings team right now. And so for Nate Jones to say, if you pair him with the right 4, we may need to upgrade at the 4 no matter what. Mm-hmm. And who is the right 4? Is it Pascal Siakam? I don't know. What is it? A defensive-minded 4? And so, this whole notion that you can't win with Sabonis, I'm not buying it, because if you have the correct talent around him, if the roster is what it should be, the talent level, then you can win. And my whole thing about being a winner, you don't become a winner until you win. Paul Pierce wasn't a winner until he got Kevin Garnett.
No, you're right. And I know you're a golfer. I remember Phil Mickelson, they used to say, oh, he hasn't won a major. And then, he can't win a major. And then he won 6 or whatever.
Right. And then
I guess he could.
And so, and ESPN is having this big debate, would LeBron have become LeBron without D Wade? Well, would Michael Jordan have become Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen? Would Steph Curry become Steph Curry without Clay, Draymond, and Kevin Durant? I mean, we could say this about anybody. And so for Nate Jones to say, well, if you pair him with the right 4, to me, that says you just need to upgrade the talent on the roster. And I think we all agree for the Kings to win the championship, some roster improvement is going to have to happen.
Yeah. And again, last year we saw it, 3rd team all league. That wasn't an accident.
Right.
That happened.
Right.
Exactly. You don't do that just by accident. But I think his career right now, this is an inflection point because teams have adjusted to the way he played last year. He played so well. You talked about this earlier. One player does something, the defense adjusts, and I think that's where it is. And he was just not good against the Rockets. It's the worst he's played, at least impactful he's been since he's been here. So right now, starting tonight, he needs to respond to that. I think he's capable of that, but there are always going to be people like Nate Jones who just don't take him seriously. That doesn't matter, but he does need to start playing better this year for the Kings.
Let me ask you this, though, because he's coming off 2 bad games. We agree. We all understand
Just
that.
not impactful.
Not
Yeah.
impactful. But was he impactful the first 4 games when he averaged 19 points, when he had 56 rebounds, averaged 14 rebounds and 6 assists?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So why is it all of a sudden this narrative about Domantas Sabonis? He has 2 bad games. All teams have figured him out. They've figured him out. Well, did Utah not figure him out? Did Golden State, the 2 times they played the Warriors, not figure him out this regular season? And so I don't buy that. I just think he had 2 bad games against Houston. Like, he was having a hell of a season to start. 19, 14, and 6. That's what we talked about. We said his numbers, he's going to get you 19, 12, and 7. And through the first 4 games, he was right there.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that. The problem is that, and I know you talk to him more than I do.
Yeah.
A lot more. But on media day, Chris and I talked to him, and we talked about that, and he admitted that, yeah, they did some things in the playoff series, and I have to adjust to that. I mean, he said that.
Right.
So, yeah, he has played well at times this year. Last couple of games, again, he has not played well when the team has needed him to the most without De'Aaron
But
Fox.
let me ask you this. Because if I'm correct, the Warriors exposed Domantas Sabonis, right? In the playoff series.
In a way. They made some adjustments that made him ineffective.
So
not as effective.
Game number 2 against the Warriors when he had 19 points, 18 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. Game number 4 of the season against the Warriors when he had 23 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. If that's figuring him out, I'll take that every night.
Well, but it's 2 different things. And the Warriors are very, very small this year, and he's able to take advantage of that. It's just cutting him off as the source of the offense, as the guy they can run the offense through. We've seen that, right? Would you not agree? Houston made some adjustments to that. Matt Barnes on our show said, when I suggested it, he said, you hit the nail on the head. So what do you say to that, Kyle Draper?
I'm saying he had 2 bad games. He had 2 bad games. Because if I'm correct, Whitey, against the Warriors this regular season, those 17, 18, 19 footers that we talked about him taking, he actually took.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, he was shy against the Rockets. He didn't do it, and that's on him. But this whole notion, they figured him out. So and this goes back to what we said earlier. So let's say they did figure out what's the counter. And the counter is shoot the 17 footer.
I agree.
Right? We've seen him do that so far this season. For some reason, it did not happen the 2 games in Houston. I don't understand what happened. I need to go ask him that. Like, dude, what went wrong in Houston? How come you only had 4 shots Monday night? I don't think the Rockets figured him out. First of all, I think the Rockets not only backed off, but then when he did try to make a move, he had 2 or 3 guys around him.
Mm-hmm.
Then you kick it out. Guys aren't making shots. Guys aren't moving. That's a bigger story that we can have, a bigger conversation.
Fair enough. But it's not all on him.
It's not all on him.
They're running the offense through you, and guys aren't making shots.
Right. Exactly. I mean, but he played 30-plus minutes and only took 4 shots. He has to figure out a way to still be aggressive, like I just said, when guys take away your initial offense.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that was so discouraging about those Houston games is Şengün, who's a really good player. Şengün basically beat Domas at his own game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Şengün's a hell of a player.
Yes.
He took it. He won that battle. He won that matchup. You could argue Looney won the matchup in the postseason, but the first 2 games against Golden State this season, Domantas Sabonis dominated Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
He played extremely well against the Warriors. Those happen.
Yes. Quick timeout when we come back to the Golden One Center. The Kings getting their mojo back is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Tell you what those 1, 2, 3 things are when we return. It's the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know? Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Have you ever heard that phrase, less is more? Well, at Harbor Freight, we're all about more for less, because we know you like to do stuff, to make stuff, to improve stuff. That's why everything in our stores, from miter saws to tool chests to cordless impact wrenches, is priced affordably. So get out there and drill, paint, and saw to your heart's content. We just ask that whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Royalty in the house?
Yeah,
Tonight?
Kings royalty, right?
Yes.
And it's good to see. That's what you want to see. Some legends come back and support this team. And so, Jay Johnson in our ear. Just say who it is, man. A little birdie told me Mitch Richmond is going to be here in Sacramento at tonight's game. That's what I'm hearing.
And we can confirm that because there was a message on the video board welcoming Mitch Richmond. So, yeah. Have you done TV with him? Because I know he's done a little bit of TV.
Yes, my first year, Mitch Richmond was the guy with us. Yeah.
Can I tell you my favorite Mitch Richmond story that he told us once on the radio? Okay, he said he was playing for the Warriors for Don Nelson. We asked him something about Nelly, and he says, let me tell you about Nelly. And he says the Warriors were playing a game up in Seattle. And Olden Polynice the Warriors were winning the game by a lot, but Polynice was killing him. And Don Nelson didn't like that.
Yeah.
So he told a guy by the name of John Shasky, all right, I want you to go in there. I don't care what you do, but use all 6 fouls on some.
Yep.
Okay? So, again, this is Mitch telling the story. So Shasky goes in the game, has a decent game, but for some reason doesn't foul Polynice at all. And so even though the Warriors win the game by a lot, Nelson is furious after the game. So the next day at practice, everyone's shooting around. Then Nelly says, all right, everybody sit down. And he has Shasky pick up lines until he's about to get sick.
Really?
And they said, all right, everybody bring it in. I want you all to wave bye-bye to Shasky because I just cut his behind.
Way.
Yeah,
he made him run and then cut him. Oh, ouch. That's dirty.
Yeah.
He did him dirty.
That's what I think. Whenever I think of Mitch, I think obviously all the great games he had for the Kings.
Yes.
But I think of that story that he told us once.
Yes. I just texted Mitch. Hopefully he'll get back to me. And yeah, I'm name dropping right now. I'm, showing you the Rolodex, Jay Johnson back there in the studio.
Can't get Rashid though, huh?
No, you know what? Ever since he dunked on me, the relationship was frayed after that. We won a championship, but it was frayed after that. I never forgave him.
Yeah.
And let me tell you real quickly, one more Rasheed Wallace story.
Please.
We're playing on that summer league team that won the championship, ladies and gentlemen. We got the bling, the hardware.
Was he an easy guy to play with, a decent guy?
Oh, yeah. He was fine. He was fine.
Yeah.
He was fine. And so I like to fashion myself as Magic Johnson. Like, I'm the point guard. I'm throwing alley-oops.
Yeah.
So one day we're at the summer league game, and I'm running the point. It's a one-on-one. A guy is, in front of me, but I see Rasheed Wallace in my rearview mirror trailing me. And so you ever see that pass Gary Payton did to Sean Kemp where he threw it up high and then Sean Kemp comes out of nowhere? Well, I did that with Rasheed Wallace. I'm running down the court. I draw the defender. I throw it up over my head. She comes in, whack him. That's the sound he made. It went, whack him, right? And so I'm fired up. I'm hype. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Sheed. So halftime comes and we get into the locker room and he's like, Kyle, what kind of shot was that you took? And I was like, "No, dude, that was a pass. What are you? That was magic, like Sean Payton, Gary Payton." He's like, "Nah, dude, that was a shot." And so that's why the relationship is frayed. He dunked on me and then didn't give me my props for my assist.
We're gonna have to at some point get him on and clear all that up. Yeah,
dude, I might need therapy from that. Can't you tell? I'm still worked up over that.
I can understand how you would be. Yeah, but at some point,
it was
obviously,
the greatest pass I've ever thrown.
Today, sometime. Well, that's one of our goals as a show.
Yeah, we got to get him. We'll see if he remembers that.
We'll get that. I'm sure. First of all, I'm sure he'll leap at the chance to come on.
Right,
with us.
exactly.
Yeah. Can we come? Yeah, come on and talk about summer league, high school with us.
High school summer league.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. It's good to have goals anyway.
That's good stuff.
What do you think of this? The Kings getting their mojo back tonight. Getting their mojo back. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Here's what the 3 things are. One, well, you can't get it tonight, but Fox's return. When Fox is back, that's one huge step towards getting your mojo back.
Yeah,
not going to be tonight.
Yep.
The return of Fox takes care of a lot of it. Second is the return of Thregan, which hopefully we'll start to see tonight. Keegan Murray as a legitimate 3-point threat, where other teams, when they're playing the Kings, it's like you can't just let him stand out there because he'll kill us from 3-point range. Yeah. And then thirdly, and we just talked about it, Domas, I think, has to get back to being the best center on the floor, 90% of the time? He's not always going to be the best center, but last year he was the best center on the floor at least 90% of the time.
And it'd be different if you're taking on Embiid, Jokic, somebody like that. But, Şengün, who's 19, I think I had him at, or maybe 21, super young guy, right? For him to own you like that, that's unacceptable. DeAndre Ayton, big body. Still, you're Domantas Sabonis. You're the 3-time All-Star. You're the All-NBA third team. And so you have to win those matchups, especially with De'Aaron Fox out.
Yes.
Like, you got to be the best player on the floor for the Kings. You and Keegan, y'all got to be the best too tonight.
Mm-hmm. Not to be redundant, but it's interesting. We were just talking about the games that Domas played in Houston, and you, as someone who sees every game the Kings play, you fly with them, you don't really know what happened to him, do you, in those games?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm going to give Houston a lot of credit because, like I said, they did a great job shrinking the paint against him. And he couldn't just muscle past Şengün. Şengün, they like to say Şengün is Domantas Sabonis 2.0, and he couldn't use his size and physical advantage against Şengün because Şengün was right there. But I also, like I said, thought the Rockets did a great job shrinking the paint. And so when Domantas Sabonis did try to make a move, he had 2 or 3 bodies against him. Think about it, though. If you're facing the Kings without De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis is at the top of your scouting report, right?
No question.
We got to limit this guy. And so, give the Rockets credit. Sabonis has to take some blame, not, diversifying his game, taking more shots. Sometimes you just got to force shots. Like, if you're the best player, sometimes, you know what? You got to go one-on-one and get it up. But also the coaches have to put you in a better position. So those are the 3 areas of blame I'm going. Good Rockets defense, Sabonis not being aggressive, and the Kings coaching staff not diversifying the offense enough.
Another thing that I'm expecting tonight, I'll be upset if I don't see it. Harrison Barnes, as long as he's been here, for as long as he's been in the league, the things he's done, his reputation, he's supposed to be a steadying influence.
Yeah.
So at the very least, without Fox, when the offense isn't functioning, you'd think that, and maybe some of it is the coaches, post up HB, you're going to get him to the line at least, right?
Right.
But instead, he's been kind of invisible, and he can't be invisible tonight. He just
No,
can't.
I agree. And let's stick with HB because I can make the same case for a lot of different players. But when you're a 12-year NBA veteran,
That's it.
a guy that's won a championship, a leader on this team, you have to sense, and he's done a good job of it. Last season, I thought sensing what the team needs in a given moment.
I think we even saw that against the Warriors in the playoffs.
Yes, exactly. And so I'm not sure what happened out there in Houston, but he can't be invisible. He can't be 4 shots, 5 shots. I know he plays good defense and everything, but I think he only had 1 rebound that first Houston game, it might have been, or the OKC game, one of those games. He has to be more impactful. You're 100% right about that.
Now, in all fairness, and you would know the matchups better than I would tonight, but he's got a pretty tough matchup on his hands, doesn't he?
Yeah, this Jeremy Grant kid is long, athletic, can shoot the three, really coming into his own, especially with no Dame Lillard. Like the splits without Dame Lillard versus with Dame Lillard here. I got him right here, Whitey. I'll pull him up real quick. Jeremy Grant, in 50 games with Dame Lillard, 19.4 points per game. Only shot 13.9 times. In 20 games as a Blazer without Lillard, 23 points, gets it up 17 times a game.
Yeah.
So he's looking to be more aggressive, obviously, with no Dame Lillard. So that's going to be a matchup to watch tonight.
Yeah, they haven't shot the ball especially well, but they've defended well. So, again, the Kings have a golden opportunity after 2 really bad losses, taking on, at home, a team that is banged up and is not a great team. So this should be a W tonight, and the Kings need one. They desperately need a win tonight. The whole organization does. The fan base does after the 2 games in Houston.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this should be a party tonight inside Golden One Center. I don't want no angst. I don't want, any nervousness coming down the stretch.
No anxiety.
No anxiety, exactly. I want to see the G League guys, the bench, the reserve guys on the floor in the fourth quarter. Like, this should be a stress-free game for this Sacramento fan base.
Yes, it's going to be a wonderful night. Thanks for being with us. When we come right back, is this the key to the Kings' whole season? Next from the Golden One Center, Draper, Gleason, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Imagine it's the final game of the season, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are making a comeback. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Guys, your promise is your word, right? You stick by it, you live by it. So does Revive Men's Health with our Revive Promise for low T and ED. The Revive Promise means your tests and lab work are free when you begin treatment, and our low T and ED treatments are money back guaranteed. Yes, that's right. We stand behind our treatments and our results. That's our promise to you. Revive Men's Health has successfully helped thousands of men with low T, ED, and sexual health issues since 2011. If you're experiencing symptoms like chronic low energy, less drive, sleep issues, weight gain, poor performance, bad moods, or ED, you need Revive. Don't settle. Get affordable, guaranteed, custom low T and ED solutions with lasting results from Sacramento's favorite men's clinic. And remember, there are no extra bills when you begin treatment. All labs and tests are free, and your low T and ED treatments are money back guaranteed. Call Revive Men's Health Sacramento today to schedule your appointment. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Happy Wednesday, I'm Simone, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. After a displeasing road trip, the Kings return to beautiful downtown Sacramento tonight as they host the Portland Trail Blazers from Golden One Center. Kings, of course, hope to avoid a 4th straight loss tonight. They have yet to lose 4 consecutive games since starting last year with an 0-4 record. Can the Beam team find a way to shine without the touch of De'Aaron Fox? And can Sacramento's once lethal offense shred a feisty Rip City squad? As always, the Drive Guys are going to be providing their comprehensive insights and hot takes all afternoon long, right up until our exclusive game night coverage jumps off beginning at 5:30 with tip-off from Golden One Center scheduled for 7. You can listen right here, as always, on Sactown Sports. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Let's get back to more Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Quick reminder here, your Sacramento State Hornets are home this Saturday, 2 p.m. kickoff against the Cal Poly Mustangs. Get your tickets, hornetsports.com. It's Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper coming to you from, of course, the Golden One Center, where the Kings are getting ready to take on the Blazers. Got the young Kings running some drills out here. Keon Ellis out there. Colby Jones out there. Jordan Ford out there.
Yes.
I love watching these drills.
Oh, Keon Ellis, who you think should get some minutes, perhaps
Keon,
tonight.
did you get some minutes?
I know, right?
Yeah.
You know, he shouldn't be out here with these young guys. He should be out there with Domantas Sabonis warming up, you know, on the last bus.
Is that
Petrushev? Yes.
Petrushev?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's him.
Yeah.
6'11", big man. They assigned him to Stockton. I think they may have recalled him because he's working out here. You know, I was talking to somebody in the Kings front office. I'm like, you brought this guy in. How are we going to get a look at him? They said, well, he'll play with Stockton, and we'll see what he can do. So I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Petrushev, right?
Yeah.
Philip Petrushev from the. He just scored.
It's Petrushev.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not Petrushev. Yeah, it's Petrushev.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. I think Basketball Reference had it wrong.
Yeah, I talked to him twice about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, you know, before the game the other day, so it's Petrushev.
Yeah. Mitch Richmond is supposed to be in the house tonight. We're not sure why.
Yeah, he's dissing me, man, because I texted him. It's like, dude, it's crickets. It's all good. I see how it is, Mitch Richmond, but
new phone, who it is?
I know, right?
That's all right. Yeah. If you had a Mount Kingsmore, he's definitely on there. Who, real quick, on the top of your head? Four members of the organization.
Sacramento.
Just Sacramento. And it doesn't have to be players, but I think Mitch and Webb, right, have to be.
Yeah, Mitch and Webb. You said it doesn't have to be players?
Right. Doesn't have to be.
I might say our guy, Jerry.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's held every role in the organization. I mean, he's been there since day one. And so if we're talking just individuals, I think Jerry would have to be there. Who would be that fourth guy, though?
Well, Jerry would tell us we got to save a spot because he says De'Aaron is on track to becoming the best player.
I think so. I agree 100% with that. You know, does Bibby, does Peja, Vlade, G-Man, Jay Johnson said G-Man in our ear. No, he said we're disrespectful. Come on, man. We sitting in G-Man's chair right now. I got my feet up on the desk.
We're talking about it. Yeah.
Love G-Man, but maybe G-Man too.
Yes.
But it got to be. Name me some other players. Who do you think?
Well, you go way
Reggie
back to
Theus?
I was going to say the original Kings. You know, like Eddie Johnson. Reggie Theus was the biggest star then.
Yeah.
And then Mitch was the next. You know, again, Jay Will is a guy that if you actually had a vote he would get a ton of votes because he's
Yeah.
even though
It wasn't that long,
the
though,
team got
right?
better,
Like, yeah.
he was and still is beloved.
Loved. Yeah. So, some of the greatest moments in terms of highlights.
Yeah,
he was a big part of that.
he was there when the Kings became a national phenomenon.
Let me ask you this, though. Could you argue right now?
Jeff Petrie, Rick Adelman getting some.
Oh, okay. Yep. De'Aaron Fox is the best point guard in Sacramento Kings history.
The only reason
you
I
put
would
him there?
hesitate, he's certainly worthy of consideration. The only reason I'd hesitate is because, if you consider Bibby a point guard because they ran the offense through Weber, they won bigger games.
They
So
won,
yeah.
Yeah.
But, I feel like it's inevitable. If he's not there yet, he's going to be.
He's going to be. But you're talking third-team All-NBA. I don't know if Bibby
You're right.
was ever
No, you're
an
right.
All-NBA
And plus,
player.
how quick we forget. He was in the playoffs last year. So, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
So he's going up there.
And what's so interesting
Mount
about that,
Kingsmore.
I'm going to just say this. His first 5 years were wasted. You know what I mean? And now he's finally being put on that stage. He's playing on that stage. And he's, he's in his prime right now. And so we haven't even seen the best of De'Aaron Fox. Those De'Aaron Fox we see now, this could be longevity-wise 5, 6, 7 years more of what we're seeing from this guy.
Right. And the beautiful thing about him compared to Webb and Mitch and most of the other guys we're talking about here is he was drafted here and wanted to come.
Yes.
And that was
Yes.
such a great thing when he wanted to be here.
Yes.
And he was a top prospect who embraced Sacramento. The people here, the fans here at that time, the team wasn't very good. It was like,
right.
That's so wonderful. Thank you.
Right.
Because Webb didn't want to come here, and we understand that. And it worked out, but he didn't want to come here. Mitch, was traded here.
Yeah.
But De'Aaron Fox was really like
A
Sacramento
homegrown guy.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And it was great to see Mike Brown and Domantas Sabonis came when they did, because the losing, the struggles, it had started to take its toll on De'Aaron Fox. And, Mike Brown comes in, Domantas Sabonis comes in, and all of a sudden, it's like De'Aaron Fox has been unlocked to be the great player that he is.
Jay is right about the G-Man. And
Yeah.
I may end up eating dinner with him. I hope he's not listening. But he would never care about that type of thing.
Right. But
bad.
he's been here for every game pretty much, and so since day one.
Yes.
So no, G-Man would be up there. But we need to let's call it what it is, though, Whitey. This franchise needs to start winning some more games so that this can be a real debate, and we can list 10 to 15 guys. No, you can't keep him off. Right now, we can't. We're looking at G-Man and Jerry Reynolds on that list. I need more players on there.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. There are a lot of players. Brad Miller, Vlade. It's just those two guys were so. What they've done is such unique histories they have and the ties they have with this franchise.
Yeah, King Chico says Wayman Tisdale. Too.
Tizzy.
Great Wayman Tisdale. Rest in peace. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, but you're right. Win more games.
Yeah.
How about starting tonight? Win more games starting tonight.
Before you move on to that, because it just popped in my head, where do you rank Domantas Sabonis in the big men pantheon of Sacramento Kings? Ooh, that's a tough one. C-Web's ahead of him, right? C-Web for sure. Is Vlade ahead of him?
Yes.
Is DeMarcus Cousins ahead of him?
Better. I wouldn't put DeMarcus up there, but he obviously
had the numbers. But
they just didn't win.
They didn't win. He didn't even make an all-star team when he was here, if I'm correct, right? Remember, for so many years, it was a snub. Did he make the one?
He might have made two, but he was definitely an all-star.
For so many years, it was a snub, where he just left off.
Yeah.
But, that would be a great debate. Where's Domantas Sabonis? And it hasn't even been, 2 full years yet. Where does he rank among Sacramento Kings big men?
Yeah, there's a big debate last year about, I think Carmichael Dave threw something out about, is he better than Weber? And, it's no, but he had as good a year last year as you could say Weber ever had.
Really?
Weber, as you know.
But Weber could score.
Way more talented.
Weber
Domas
could get you 28, though.
Weber could do just about everything.
Yeah, he was getting you 28, 12, and 6, or let me look that up real quick because and not to take away anything.
I don't
from
think he ever
Domantas
averaged that
Sabonis.
many points here because of the other scores they have, but he was a legitimate big time scorer.
Chris Webber's 50 years old
He was
now, too.
truly
Yeah.
a great player here for the Sacramento.
All right, C-Webb, 27 in 2000, 2001. He averaged 27 points,
27 up,
11 rebounds, 4 assists.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That was his best statistical year. Then he went down to 24, 10. In 2001, 2002, which was that great year, obviously. But no, and he led his first full season in Sacramento, he led the league in rebounds, 20 points, 13 rebounds per game. C-Webb was a monster.
He was incredible.
I got to get him on the show. Can we get him on the show?
I would love to have him on
that to me, he's like the unicorn.
I think
he's like, Bigfoot,
I used to just marvel at him, the Fab Five and all that.
Yes.
He was so good.
So many layers of his career.
Yeah. That's what made that team so special on top of everything else. And they had charisma and they're likable guys and they had big personalities, but man, those guys could pass the ball.
Yeah.
Him and Vlade, the interior passing was like, they just
think about that. Two big men that were so great at passing. I mean, that's rare.
Right.
We got one now, obviously, but they actually complemented each other too.
Yeah. And then Brad Miller came along and he wasn't as gifted, but he was an excellent player. He was an all-star and he was a good passer too.
Dude, we could talk old Kings all day long, if you ask me. The heyday, even the Reggie Theus days, I enjoy these kind of conversations because people forget just how good these players were.
Yeah, there's a lot of people feel like the Kings, when they first came here, if they hadn't broken that team up, that would have been a playoff team for years and years in a row. They would have had a run of playoff streaks. Not a championship team necessarily, but a really good playoff team. So anyway, does it come down to this with these Kings? We touched on this yesterday as well. Davion Mitchell in the B said, trying to play as fast as they want. That's the tough part. Also trying to play really good defense. He said it's tough. I think really good teams accomplish that. That's how teams become really good teams, when they can do both. Is that really going to determine if this team comes close to becoming as good as they can be? They're going to have to do that, play fast, and be a really good defensive team.
I think so. If you want to get to where you want to be, right now, if I'm correct, they're 22nd in defensive rating. You don't have to be a top 5 defense, but you have to be able to do it on both ends. And the Kings right now, they're not doing it on either end, obviously, over these last couple of games. But there's no reason why, if I'm Mike Brown, I can't challenge these guys at least to be middle of the pack. I don't think we're asking them to lock down teams and hold them to 89 points every single night.
Mike Brown would love
He would love that, right? He'd love a 90 to 89 game right now.
That's it, guys.
Exactly. But you know what? If you want to get to a championship level team, you have to be able to play defense. Maybe not, like I said, top 5, but even Denver, who were they, 15, 14 something? 15 last season.
And the Kings, they were 17, I think, before they went into Houston.
Before they went into the free-for-all in Houston. Yep. They were trending in the right direction.
There's a great Kevin Calabro.
Kevin Calabro, man, still looking like his young self. Man, can't wait to have him on.
How about this, Drapes, on the chat here? Derek says, what's up, everybody? Sorry I'm getting on late. How's everybody doing? Pardon me. How is the show going today? Then he comes back and apologizes, says, sorry for the disrespect, Whitey and Drapes. It's always a good show. My bad for even second guessing how the show is going.
My man Derek. I forgive him. I let him off the hook. He apologized immediately.
He did.
Too. It was really
well
quick.
Played.
Dude,
yeah.
I'm looking at the YouTube chat, Whitey. People love some Marcus Thornton around here, huh? I don't know.
Well, yeah. Sharif getting some love. My wife's favorite King.
Oh,
Sharif.
my gosh.
Wow, you're right. Multiple Marcus.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I was like, darn.
He's a good player. Yeah. Coming up, the great Kevin Calabro, voice of the Blazers, will be joining us. Also, when we come back, Kings are bouncing back big tonight, and we will tell you exactly why when we return to the Golden One Center. Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason, Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will
the defense lead this squad again.
Intercepted. Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner.
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear through the night tonight. It'll be chilly tomorrow morning with overnight lows in the upper 30s. We'll have sun mixed with a few clouds tomorrow with highs in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Winter's coming, so let's kick off the cold season right and get your heater all tuned up. Now just $79. No matter how cold it gets outside, you'll always be warm and toasty inside. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER. Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changers, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
Gobble, gobble, folks. It's that time of year again when the leaves fall, and so do the prices at Elk Grove Kia. We're bringing you Thanksgiving early with deals that'll make your wallet say thanks. This fall, our lot is stuffed with the latest Kia models, and we've carved out incredible savings. Get your hands on a brand new Kia with Elk Grove Kia's award-winning reliability and service you can trust, unlike your auntie's dodgy broccoli casserole. Don't wait until the turkey's on the table. Come to Elk Grove Kia and feast on the best deals this fall. And don't worry if you have challenged credit. Our finance team has over 100 years of experience. They may or may not have even helped a pilgrim or two get qualified. So hurry on down to Elk Grove Kia, where the prices are falling faster than Uncle Bob falls asleep in front of the football game at Thanksgiving. It's the Thanksgiving sale going on now at Elk Grove Kia, located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com. Elk Grove Kia, where the only thing bigger than our savings is our gratitude for our amazing customers.
Elk Grove Kia.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is the best place to go all in and all out. Go all in at our table games, then go all out to win on the area's only 3-story indoor kart track. Or go all in for our famous award-winning buffet. Then go all out at our state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and beautiful resort hotel, you can go all in for fun and all out for comfort. We're Red Hawk Resort Casino, official casino partner of the Sacramento Kings.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Coming to you from the Golden One Center, Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper. Drapes, you got quite a shoe game, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I'm wearing something new today, too. These I've never worn before. The YouTube chatters, I'm going to put them up there so you can see. This will be the first time I wear these right here. These are some Jordan Lows. I'm not going to tell you where I got them from, Whitey, because I don't want to flex. I don't want to flex on you. Do you see that up there? See that YouTube chat?
We're seeing
so, yeah, man. Yeah, it's the new season, man. You got to bring the heat. So
yeah.
I'm like changing as we do the show right here, now.
Yeah, I realize that. Respect that. We're going to get to the phones in just one moment here, but serious question. And you're going to laugh, but I was telling my wife, Sheena, I said, guess who is endorsing Skechers? She's like, who? I said, Joel Embiid. And she just started laughing. But is that a legit thing now?
No, and he's not the only one, right? I think they signed a few guys. And so remember, though, I think if I'm correct, a lot of people laughed at Steph Curry Under Armour. Who's going to wear Under Armour sneakers, And now look at him. Now he's signed to De'Aaron Fox. And so Skechers are a thing now, man.
Okay.
That's the thing.
All right.
Yes.
That's why. Yeah. You're the expert. Thank you.
Yeah.
339.
I wouldn't wear them, but they haven't reached that point just yet, but they're coming. They're coming.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Bill joins us on Sactown Sports. Hey, Bill. Oh, we lost Bill.
Bill left? What?
Yeah. Sorry, we lost Bill. Sorry about that. My bad. No more Bill.
I know. We're excited. I wanted to hear what Bill had to say. Man.
Well, here's what I have to say. Here's why the Kings win tonight, and they win big. And please, if you disagree with any of this, Kyle, well, I don't need to tell you that. Like, I know Kyle, if he disagrees with me, he's not going to go, gee, I shouldn't say that. That's a pretty
Come on, man.
That's a pretty ridiculous notion.
Whatever you say, I'm going to be respectful. How about that? That's
no, you don't. No, that's not how this show works. Let's see here. So tonight, you're back home after consecutive thrashings. So if there's any sense of pride left in this team, they're going to bring something, at least a level of intensity, unlike anything we've seen in a few games, right? That has to be the case. It has to show up tonight. Secondly, I don't know. The shots just have to start falling eventually, don't they?
They do. And so
and Herter at some point, the ball's going to start going in.
Like last year wasn't a fluke shooting-wise. Like Keegan's a good shooter. That's one thing we knew he could do. Kevin Herter is a good shooter. And so you could say these first 6 games, they're the fluke. That's the anomaly. That's out of character. And so I tell you, man, once the shots start falling, it's going to be an avalanche. Sort of like you said last year on this date or whatever it was, when they beat Cleveland, then they took off.
That was a year ago tomorrow when they started that 7-game winning streak. A year ago tomorrow.
Well, why not start one tonight?
Yes.
Get one against Portland, see some shots fall in. And I'm telling you, like when you start missing shots, Whitey, and you know this from your basketball playing days, you get tighter. You start pressing a little bit, And
I know that very well.
Right. You highly conditioned athlete that you are, It's so, no, you start pressing a little.
Everybody's laughing. Why are people laughing back here? Why is that? That's not that funny.
We got the laugh track going on back here. But that's what's happening with these Kings, man. You can see it on their faces. Like Mike Brown said, the body language, they're playing tight right now. They just got to let it fly, live with the results. Long as it's a good shot, Mike Brown's not going to take you out of the game.
It almost looked like we had a little bit of a pity party going on towards the end of the Houston game, and I hope not. But the thing is, whatever it is, it's got to end tonight. And the Kings, sure, it's understandable that you'd feel like, wow, we have no De'Aaron Fox. That's a challenge. But the team you're playing tonight is actually more banged up than you are.
Yes, they're missing several big names. No Anthony Simons, no Scoot Henderson, no Robert Williams III. And so
Ish Wainwright's out as well, right?
Wainwright. And so they are severely their depth is limited tonight. Like they got a solid starting 5. Malcolm Brogdon's a player. Shaedon Sharpe's a player. Malcolm Brogdon, let's not forget, 6th man of the year last year with the Boston Celtics. Won Rookie of the Year with the Milwaukee Bucks. Shaedon Sharpe is an electric player. Jeremy Grant, we've seen him have big games. DeAndre Ayton. So they have some players.
They do. For a team that just traded their franchise player.
G-Man, get out of here, man. No, G-Man trying to come into his seat right here.
Wow.
I know. I can't disrespect the OG. Matter of fact, G-Man, and you don't have to put on the headset, but we were talking about, we're going to throw G-Man up real quick right here because you would know better than I would. Mount Rushmore of Sacramento Kings basketball.
Your name
Sacramento
came up,
era.
of course.
You're talking about your name in there, Mitch.
Yeah.
Can you hear us or not?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. All right. There it is.
Yeah.
It's still. I don't know why they got a tape down. There it is.
And then we thought maybe, Jerry and then Jay back in our studio said, hey, you guys are being disrespectful. You got to mention the G-Man as one of the 4 faces on the Kings Mount Rushmore.
Sacramento Mount Rushmore. Who you got? I mean,
Webb's got to
be
Webb and Mitch, maybe kind of automatics.
And Webb, I think, would be two strong contenders. Right.
And then you and Jerry, right?
Oh, I don't know about that.
G-Man won't ever say his name.
I know
He
that.
won't say his name.
I know.
Jerry, we bow down to. There's no question about that. Man, that's a good
good one, right?
It really is, because there've been so many, really not only terrifically talented players, but just good human beings, over the years. Wayman Tisdale was there's a guy, I still think about Wayman a lot because of just the way that grin of his could light up the arena.
Don't you think, G-Man, that if there was a fan vote that Jay Will, because of what happened to the Kings when he was there, he would get a ton of votes, right? Even though the team got better after he was
That's a great call.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I say this frequently. Anytime there's a clip that comes up and you see some highlights of Jay Will, you cannot look away.
Right.
It just pulls you in. What he did with a basketball was just so extraordinary and so much fun. And trying to describe what he was doing to a radio audience, that's a huge challenge.
Yeah.
Because there'd be times when you kind of blink and think, did he just make an elbow pass? Did he just, go blindly behind his head with the left hand?
He leaves you speechless to an extent too, right?
Yeah. Good time.
What do you think about tonight, G-Man?
Man, I'm concerned. I mean, I know it's only 6 games into a season, but there's so many things that need to be tweaked. And what I worry about in a situation like this is how much pressure do guys feel? Do you have a tendency to force the issue a little bit?
They're playing like the weight of the world's on them a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And I understand that. And, yes, last year we got spoiled because of the success. But we're not seeing the pace. We're not seeing the physical intensity. How much fast break points to be 30th in the league.
This team.
And I know, not having De'Aaron contributes to that. But, they talk about pace every day.
Yes.
They want it to consistently be faster. And to see them struggling the way they are. And those 2 games in Houston were like getting 2 root canals on 2 separate days without anesthetic. I mean, that was tough. And there was
You've
no
seen a
way.
lot of those games. I mean, you have to go way back for a game like that, right?
Yeah, there have been. I was trying to recollect in my mind when we went down 40 there in the second half in Houston, that second game. I was trying to remember the last time that had happened. And the best I could come up with was it 2 or 3 seasons ago, we had a game we lost. I think it was the 5th worst loss in Kings history against Utah. And we were down. We lost by 48 or 49.
Okay.
And those are not things that you like to conjure up.
Right. Yeah. It reminded me of the Boston game too. Remember at Boston?
Yeah.
It was lost by 53 or something like that, by 60. Yeah. It's not in it right from the opening tip. Yeah.
Hey, it wasn't as bad as remember the first game? Well, this goes way back. Whitey, you would remember it. After the Mitch Richmond trade, Billy Owens went to play the Warriors, and they won by 62.
No way.
That's the worst loss in franchise.
Dang, G-Man.
I'm so depressed.
But brighter days are ahead. Days are ahead.
No, I think everybody wants to see. All right, prove a point tonight. Here's a Portland squad that's made a lot of changes, and they've got some nice pieces. You guys were talking about it before I put the headset on, and they're missing a couple of key pieces.
Mm-hmm.
We know it's going to be a slugfest in the Western Conference every night, but these are the kind of games you must win if you're going to be respected and considered a contender. That's what I thought about the 2 games in Houston. That's why I thought in the second, there's no way in the world that this team will get manhandled. And they did. That's why there's concern.
Yeah. That's why this is such a crucial contest.
Well, let's go get something. Let's get a positive vein going. Let's knock some shots down.
Right.
Let's run
early on too.
Thank you.
On.
Yeah.
No,
you do. I know you would never say this, but you do belong on a Kings Sacramento.
You're kind. You're very kind.
You know how outside the crypto.com they have the statues. Chick and all. G-Man. Outside of Doko should have a statue.
right next to Piglet.
The birds will be out there crapping all over.
Right. G-Man. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Good stuff,
man.
my friend.
Thanks.
Have a great call tonight, G-Man.
All right.
Thank you.
From one broadcast legend to another, the great Kevin Calabro, voice of the Blazers, will join us when we come right back to the Golden One Center. It's the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, all-stars and all NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by E.B. Stone. E.B. Stone for the life of your garden. Despite being on their bye week, the 49ers had a good Week 9 with all other NFC West teams losing. The Red and Gold sit at 5-3 currently, regaining a hold of the top spot in the division with Seattle's loss to Baltimore. The 49ers will look to rally in Week 10, heading to Jacksonville for a road clash with the AFC South leaders. And after adding former number 2 overall pick Chase Young at the trade deadline, the squad feels rejuvenated to make a run into 2024.
With over 100 years as a family-owned company, E.B. Stone's learned a few things about making plants grow. Start a healthy family hobby with indoor planting with E.B. Stone's Edna's Best Indoor and Outdoor Potting Soil to help your little plants grow into the perfect indoor plant for the kids and family to enjoy. E.B. Stone's Indoor and Outdoor Potting Soil is perfectly blended with all the important ingredients you need to create that perfect indoor and outdoor plant or garden. E.B. Stone, for the life of your garden. Visit ebstone.org for more gardening tips, products, and locations near you.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Happy Wednesday, I'm Simone, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. After a displeasing road trip, the Kings return to beautiful downtown Sacramento tonight as they host the Portland Trail Blazers from Golden One Center. Kings, of course, hope to avoid a 4th straight loss tonight. They have yet to lose 4 consecutive games since starting last year with an 0-4 record. Can the Beam team find a way to shine without the touch of De'Aaron Fox? And can Sacramento's once lethal offense shred a feisty Rip City squad? As always, the Drive Guys are going to be providing their comprehensive insights and hot takes all afternoon long, right up until our exclusive game night coverage jumps off beginning at 5:30 with tip-off from Golden One Center scheduled for 7. You can listen right here, as always, on Sactown Sports. I'm Simone. Those are your headlines. Last 30 minutes of the Drive Guys, so you know what that means. Go forth and light the beam, baby!
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Wow, this is just like the Hall of Legends here back at the Golden One. Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason, we just talked to the G-Man, and now nice enough to join us, the outstanding, legendary TV play-by-play voice of the Portland Trail Blazers, Kevin Calabro. Welcome, Kevin. Thanks for your time.
Great to be here.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, I got him on now. Yep. Have you ever?
Oh, I see.
Have you ever done a game in which identical twins played against each other? I bet you have with the Lopez's, right? Maybe.
I'm sure I have. Yeah, the Lopez's. A few others, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
The McRae brothers back when they were playing for Louisville back
Rodney
in the day.
and Scooter.
Back in the 80s. Yeah. That's how old I am. Tom and Dick Van Arsdale.
Oh, right. Sure.
Indianapolis, Indiana. Yeah,
You've seen many iterations of the Kings. I know this building's been around a while, but let's see. Did you do Sonics games in the original Arco or just Arco 2?
The original Arco. Well, I go back to Kemper Arena. My first NBA gig was with the Kansas City Kings.
Sure.
A year and a half before they left, before Lukenbill took them from Kansas City here to Sacramento.
Yeah.
And we were just remarking off the air about just the beauty of this building. It's a long way from Kansas City Kemper Arena down in the stockyards to where we are now. Yeah. So congratulations to the city of Sacramento. They're great fans always. Tremendous fans. Had some absolute I hate to say wars. They were just very, very competitive games between the Sonics and the Kings back in the day, and certainly that's been my experience in my relatively short tenure with the Blazers now, my 8th year with the Blazers. Always a real good run here when Dame comes into this building or did come into this building. And now with this team, just heard your reporter refer to the Blazers as a feisty team. I like that. I'm going to roll with that theme tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, this should be fun. Fun game.
What can you tell us about your team? Our first time seeing them this
Well,
year.
injuries, obvious, as you guys know, with Fox out now for his 4th consecutive game, plays such a part of the NBA. Unfortunate, we've got Anthony Simons out probably for another 5.5 weeks. He had surgery on the right thumb, shooting hand, tore ligament in that game in the opener against the Los Angeles Clippers. And, here's a guy that's going to – we were thinking with Dame's departure, here's a guy that could get you 25 points a night, shoot upwards of 38% from three-point range. And then Scoot went down. Scoot Henderson, our top pick in the draft, the number 3 pick, he's been out now for 3 ball games and won't be playing tonight. We hope to get him back in time for the Laker game coming up this weekend. He's got like De'Aaron, he's got a ankle that's been bothering him. So that's been the story so far of the Blazers. And then obviously the blockbuster deal that sent Damian Lillard to Milwaukee and all the machinations of that, getting DeAndre Ayton over from the Phoenix Suns and integrating him into the system. He's been in double-digit rebounding the last 4 and had a career-high 23 boards, 7 offensive rebounds. Defending well, not getting the post touches and not shooting the ball and getting those opportunities as much as they would like. So that certainly will be a focus. But I think a lot of that has to do with the changeover in point guard, getting to know people, and then being able to spread defenses. I mean, they just haven't been able to spread defenses. Malcolm Brogdon has been terrific. Another guy that was picked up in that whole flurry of trades coming over from Boston. And then Robert Williams III, another injury update. He's going to be out for some time, either depending on what surgery he chooses, either 3-4 months down the road, or if he decides to do the full-blown surgery, possibly out for the year. So we haven't yet made an announcement on that. The Blazers haven't, and I think the athlete's still making a decision on that. So it's been great to have Malcolm Brogdon on board. DeAndre has been terrific. Also coming over in that deal, a guy to watch tonight is Toumani Camara, 6'8", out of went to Georgia and played with Anthony Edwards there for a couple of years and transferred to Dayton, where Anthony Grant is coaching. And Grant was an assistant for 2-3 years with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So he's a well-coached player, he's a terrific athlete, 6'8", every bit of 220, really powerful, long arms, and just plays with a no-nonsense out on the floor. Terrific kid from Brussels, Belgium. Who knew it was a hotbed? I didn't. Now you guys
NBA
did.
talent out there.
Scout all this stuff. I don't.
Exactly. Yeah, the great Kevin Calabro with us. We were talking earlier about the fact that here you have a franchise. You guys just traded your franchise player, one of the greatest players in NBA history.
God.
And yet it seems like as a franchise, you're in a pretty good spot considering that. How did the organization pull that off?
I appreciate you saying that. The Blazers have assets now. They picked up 3 picks and they got some swaps in the deal as well, and they retain their own first-round draft choice. Lottery protected as Chicago up through 2028, and the Derrick Jones Jr. deal done about 3 years ago. So they're in pretty good shape. I mean, Malcolm Brogdon is a guy, obviously, that people are going to come calling for. You look at his numbers, he's been terrific. Had 11 assists, 1 turnover in the last ball game against Memphis. Gritty, tough. Shot 4-4-4 from 3 last year with the Boston Celtics. He's been to 2 conference finals, over 40 playoff games. He's a guy at 30 years old you'd love to keep, but the reality is we're in a rebuild. This is a youth movement here in Portland, and so we'll see. He's been a terrific mentor, though, to any and all players on this ball club. So, another guy, obviously, is Jeremy Grant, who's off to a really good start, too. I think there'll be a number of teams that will come calling in, December, January, up until the deadline in February for a guy with his kind of talents, even though he did sign a pretty hefty contract in the summer. It's all relative. I think definitely there'll be some teams that'll have a need there. So if they do decide to go that direction, they have some, as they say, fungible assets that could be moved along the road, and for younger players. And that's, the focus, I think, for the Blazers for the next couple of years, I would think.
Kevin, as I watch some of your guys warm up here, obviously some young pieces, some new pieces, guys being out. If the Blazers are going to win this game, what's the one thing you're looking for tonight?
Well, I'd like to see Ayton get a few more touches in the paint, see him get a scoring game under his belt. And it'll be difficult, certainly against Sabonis. But that's what I'm looking for tonight, is to see how Ayton functions on the offensive end. Now, whether or not that leads to a win or not, we shall see. With this Blazer team, it's been defense and offensive rebound, crashing the offensive glass. Second chance opportunity will be key. So if you're looking for a stat, that's the one that I would focus on tonight. If the Blazers are functioning well, they're getting a number of offensive rebounds and they're scoring off those second chance points against the Kings.
Kevin, Mitch Richmond is here tonight. He's going to be recognized.
Oh my
at
gosh!
some point.
Really?
Yeah.
What's he look like? Is he still like chiseled out of?
Yeah, the Rock
City and
Rock.
Yeah, but I was wondering,
volcanic rock,
especially for Kings fans who've been around a while. What can you tell us about what you remember the most about that playoff series '96 when that Georgia's great Sonics team, Mitch and the Kings, they almost pushed them to the brink there.
Well, yeah, we had lost Kemp, as I recall, the final game of the year. He had been suspended, and the Blazers, the Sonics got along well without him that first game. And then, as I recall, didn't the Kings win the second game of the series? The one that Kemp came back and played in. So already the second guessing, the hand-wringing in Seattle began. That was what I alluded to, those great series between those two. And that building was nuts.
Yes.
Crazy. Face painting and the cowbells and it was nuts.
And then they came back and I think Mitch turned his ankle, and who knows, but a lot of people say, if Mitch hadn't turned his ankle, who knows? But obviously that was a great Sonics team that went to the final.
It was a terrific Sonics team. It was devoted to defense, featured obviously Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, but had terrific veterans like Detlef Schrempf, Sam Perkins, Hersey Hawkins.
Nate McMillan.
Those guys, and Nate McMillan was just absolutely salt of the earth. So, you look at that group. It's the same thing. It's interesting, that discussion that you just talked about, the Kings fans with Mitch. We had the same discussion up there in Seattle about if Nate had been healthy in the finals.
Oh yeah,
right.
And Gary didn't have the calf injury. George didn't put Gary initially on Jordan for the first two games, even though Gary was begging him to, because George wanted to save him for that series because he had a calf problem.
Mm-hmm.
Nate was a shell of himself. Had they been healthy, what might have been, I don't know. I think Jordan was on a mission because he had set out, the previous 2 years because the baseball, and then his father, of course, was murdered, and they wrapped it up in 6 games on Father's Day.
Kevin, as I listen to you talk about that, a lot of similarities between the Sonics team and the Kings team as well. They couldn't quite get over the hump and win the championship, but when you talk about those great NBA teams, those two teams, in my opinion, have to be mentioned. Your Sonics teams in the mid-'90s and the Kings team is in the early 2000s. Didn't get over the hump, but they were great teams.
No, Stojakovic and Miller immediately come to mind. Brad Miller and Bibby and the job that he did.
We can't talk about what Jerome James did to that team later. We won't go there. I know you remember that one.
Those are guys that really, really come to mind, obviously with Mitch. But, Brad Miller was he was a guy that our fans love to hate.
Yeah.
Without question. And I love Brad because he's from a neighborhood near where I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana. Of course, he was a Purdue guy. I'm a Butler guy. So I always liked Brad. I was a covert Miller fan.
Okay.
Now it comes out. I appreciate
now the truth
because he always seemed to spark us. He always got Kemp's attention. Kemp just really had a burr under his saddle for Miller. So anytime Miller was in the gym, Sean was on red alert, and that was always a good thing for us.
Yeah. Kevin, we appreciate your time. I know you got a lot of prep to do here. We get ready for the game.
I'm going to go eat fried chicken. That's my prep.
Oh, is that what it is tonight down there? Okay.
Yeah. Fried chicken tonight. You guys are missing it.
I know.
I'll be there.
Some of us got to work.
I'll have somebody bring some plates up here to you. Come on.
Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate it.
Good seeing you guys.
Have a good call.
Thanks so much for having me.
I
appreciate it. Good
luck.
luck.
We'll be right back here at Golden One Center. It's Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I had terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet Arch Support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet Store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit. The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Too much fun. Not done yet. Still got some pizza left in the box. Thanks for being with us. And I want to thank Kevin Calabro for coming by, and Mark J. Spears and the G-Man.
G-Man dropped in. Yes.
This has been incredible. Yeah, but the fun doesn't start until the game starts.
Yes.
The Kings got to take care of that tonight.
Yeah, and our guy Keegan Murray, he's out there warming up right now. I don't see his brother out there yet. That would be a sight, right? One in Keegan, the other in Chris. I want to see what that first meeting is like at midcourt when they dap each other up. But no, hopefully Keegan is out there, Harrison Barnes as well. 2 guys we're looking for bounce back games from. You know, they have to impact the game tonight.
By the way, that is the only time when a split cap or jersey is ever acceptable. The only time is if you have blood family in the game, 2, 1 on each side. If you have like your sons and one's on one team, one's on the other, that is the only time that any of that split nonsense is remotely acceptable.
So should I tell my son to get rid of his split Celtics King shirt?
What?
Yes, he has a split.
Real?
So, you know, we moved from Boston.
Yeah.
And his buddy is a big Tyrese Halliburton fan.
Okay.
My son's a big Jason Tatum fan. So for Christmas, they got a Halliburton shirt, basically.
Okay.
Like Tatum Halliburton.
Well,
they split it in the middle.
It's a
and
present.
So
It's a gift.
that's okay?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're the dad. You tell me.
I don't know, man. I'm rethinking my
sounds like it's
parenting
really,
now.
I mean, when you're moving from one part of the country to the other, special circumstances.
Okay, all right.
Of course I'll allow it.
I'm thinking, you know, my parenting is off. Like, what am I doing? Am I corrupting my son or what? You know?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't met your son, but you know he's my guy, and
you hooked him up.
Yeah. So
Deion Sanders cards. Yeah, I appreciate
That's special. That's really nice, and I hope tonight is a special night. And you mentioned Keegan and HB, and we all know that. By the way, I was going to say it starts with Domas, which is true, but the G-Man was a little like, wow, I'm concerned.
Yeah, I was shocked that he, because everybody's thinking, Portland, they're down multiple guys. Kings are back home. Got to win this one. We're optimistic. We started off our show saying they're going to get it done tonight. And G-Man, the legend, says, I don't know, guys. This is going to be a tough one. I'm like, if this is a tough one, then they're all for sure going to be tough, right?
Right.
Like every team, there are no easy ones if you can't beat this team.
I thought he was talking about what everyone's talking about, which is just that he was concerned about how badly they looked the two games at Houston. And as you said, for you guys, it's like, why do we even fly there? We could have just stayed home, right?
Yeah, exactly. I like I said, if we want to go down there and get spanked like that,
Keegan
save
on the way.
mile. Got it. Yes. Yeah. Yes, Keegan knocking down mid-range jumpers. But, yeah, if you're going to go to Houston and get waxed, dude, save the fuel miles and the fuel costs, hotel costs and all that, the per diem. Like the organization could have saved thousands. Just take the L's and stay home. Serious.
Herder dribbling between the legs. Want to see him shoot a little bit.
Yeah, you like this, huh? You like this music.
I love this.
Like,
I really
seeing guys
do.
go through
Especially
pregame.
when, I'd love it if you have, G Leaguers out there. I really appreciate that. But then when you have guys that, wow, these are NBA stars, you see them working on their crafts. I really appreciate that. Always have. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Domas is the guy tonight on the spot, I think. I was going to ask you, which King do you think is on the spot the most? To me, it's Domas.
Yeah, because he comes with the most credentials, right? Like Keegan Murray's second-year player struggling, but if Domantas Sabonis gets owned again tonight against DeAndre Ayton, who we just heard Kevin Calabro just said.
Concerned about Domas. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Kevin Calabro also said Ayton's not even getting the touches that he did in Phoenix. And so if you get owned tonight by DeAndre Ayton, something's wrong. Because if I'm Domantas Sabonis, let's keep it real. You were kind of embarrassed in Houston, right? Shingu.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, there's just no way around that.
He took it to you. And so Domas has to bounce back tonight, man. He got to come out and be aggressive. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm calling it right now. I would not be surprised.
You have a number for us? Is this for the Drake Magic numbers?
You might, and it's not even. DeAndre Ayton will be in foul trouble tonight.
Okay.
He will get 3 fouls in this first half because Domantas Sabonis is going to be that aggressive out there.
All right. I'm going to go Sabonis tonight is going to have 21 or more, which, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, 21 or more points tonight.
Okay.
21 plus.
All right. I think you're about right. And then does that lead to a win? That's that's a great game. 21 plus, he'll get like 12 or 13 rebounds.
Right.
6, 7, 8 assists. And so that's a Domas kind of game.
21 on like 14 shots. That's what he does when he's at his best.
Exactly. And get to the line a few times. And so what can't happen is what we saw in Houston, and when I looked at Domantas Sabonis numbers and just how effective he's been for this Sacramento Kings team over his career, I don't think he's had back-to-back games in single digits. Yeah,
I never thought of that, but I
got it right here. Last 2 games, 8 field goals, 9 turnovers at that, and so I don't think he's had back-to-back double-digit games like we've seen, him against Houston. Yeah, he had a streak of 5 double-doubles that came to an end as well. And so he has to be better tonight. He definitely has to be better.
How about Keegan tonight? Keegan is, I don't know if you want to focus on points or threes. I think with him, it's threes made, right? I'm going 5 or more. Keegan tonight is going to hit. Gosh, that's a lot.
You already backtracking. He's already backpedaling.
Yeah. 5 or more threes tonight.
No, I'm with you on that. I you know what? He's going to get the shot attempts, right? Like, he might be 5 of 9, 5 of 10 tonight. Like, I think that should be money in the bank, to be honest with you, because he needs a bounce back. He needs to see some fall. Mom and dad here tonight. Got your brother. Time to show up. And so I think he'll get the looks. He'll get the opportunities. He just got to start knocking them down.
Mm-hmm. You got any other numbers? Not put your spot. If you don't, that's fine.
No, I give you some because everybody's
all right.
Been on my guy Davion Mitchell. I got Davion 11.5 plus points. He's going to go over 11.5 tonight. And he's going to have 5 assists, too. I think it's going to be a great game for Davion. It's not going to be 25 or anything like that, but you'll see a very active and engaged Davion Mitchell tonight.
Do you think sometimes he struggles? Because at Baylor, they didn't run, they weren't like a up and down. They weren't the running rebels or anything. Do you think it's an adjustment for him to play at the pace offensively that Mike Brown wants him to play at?
I think it's an adjustment for him to play in the offense that Mike Brown wants him to play. To me, Davion needs the ball in his hands a little more. They're playing so much through Domantas Sabonis that he doesn't even get into a rhythm. And so I still think he's trying to figure out his spots. He had a rough year last year adjusting to the new system. And so I don't know if this system fits Davion as much as previous systems. Like, he can run a team. He can be a natural, but when you play it through Sabonis, you're a secondary facilitator, and I think he's having trouble with that.
Mm-hmm. Herder from 16 banks it up, no good. That's okay. We're just
let me ask. See what you're trying. We can't glean anything from what
I
we
know.
see, right? It's like
I
going
know.
golfing and at the range, you're striping it.
Herder's
Hell,
shot between the legs.
All right,
Pulls
let's
up,
see.
Free ball, left side
Count
ankle
it.
on the way.
See, I'm
Over
of the
and up.
belief that if you have a bad warm-up, that you're going to be good in the game.
Okay, then Kevin Herter's going to have 40 points.
40. Oh, that's bad. Dude, that's
I'm
messed up.
kidding.
That's
I only
messed
saw him
up.
shoot. I'm
That's
kidding.
messed up.
Kev, I'm kidding.
Look at High Flyer waiting to jump in like it's double dutch or something, big fella. Like we jumping rope out here. You want to come sit down? Come on, big fella. Come on. You know I'm messing with you.
Who do you got, Henry? The all-time Sacramento Kings, Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, we did a Mount Rushmore. Who you got on that Mount
Got
Rushmore?
Webb and Mitch, right?
Okay, how many people we got?
4. You only have 4.
4.
Yeah.
You got to put Oscar Robinson up there.
Well, no,
just
we're just
Sacramento.
doing Sacramento.
Oh, Sacramento.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
my
just
bad.
that.
Y'all, I'm with the whole Kings. All right, Mitch is number 1.
Yep.
Webb.
Yep.
And then after that, we ended up like G-Man came by and he said, I don't belong on there, but we
Jerry Reynolds we threw in there.
I thought you guys was just talking about players.
Oh, it can be anybody.
It could be anybody. Who you got?
Owners, anything.
Oh, okay. Here's the deal. You got to go Mitch, Webb. You're gonna have to throw Jerry Reynolds off in there and Rick Adelman.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rick, yeah.
Rick Adelman.
Rick Adelman made the playoffs every year he was coach.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know what?
Then he leaves and then you miss the playoffs.
Hey, let me tell you, the Sacramento era we most hold so covenant to. Rick Adelman led us through that.
Yeah.
And you know what, though? And I'm going to put an asterisk right next to Jeff Petrie. Jeff Petrie built that team.
He built 2 playoff teams in Sacramento.
Yes, Jeff Petrie deserves a whole lot of credit.
Yep.
You know, G-Man gets thrown off in there.
Are you going to tell him that you throw him off, or do I have to tell him when I see him down there?
Well, no, I'll tell him.
You going to break it to him?
Yeah, I'll bring it to him.
He says he doesn't belong in there anyway. So
No, he belongs there.
Yeah.
Come on, man. He is the voice of 35 years now?
Yeah.
More than that.
30,
85, 38 years?
30-something plus, he's been there. Solid.
Yeah.
Tried. True. I'm telling you, I work with the man every night. And I'll tell you what, I haven't seen not one other. I watch all the reporters. They sit here. I've seen no other media guy comes more prepared than
no doubt.
Nobody.
No doubt.
Nobody.
And he does it old school, too.
Dude, with the pencil
With the pencil and paper.
I'm telling you, nobody comes more prepared.
Not even Scott Marsh?
Not even, come on, man. He ain't close.
I bet you want to see a little more intensity from the Kings tonight, huh?
You know what? I didn't calm down, fellas.
Oh, we talked yesterday, man. You were fired up, bro.
I bust the gasket. You know, O-rings and pistons was leaking, everything. But I didn't calm down now. But I'll tell you what. They're back home. You've been embarrassed twice. You're on your home floor. You slept in your own bed last night.
Yep.
You better turn it around.
All right.
Yes.
We'll let you guys get to it. Drapes, have a good call tonight.
You.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And game night with Henry Turner, Scott Marsh is next, right here from the Golden One Center, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders.